Welcome, everybody. Anthony here with the Bulbaritos, bringing you a brand new live stream, and we are going to be doing a watch party today. A couple of people asked me, we've been getting questions on whether we were going to do a watch party. I know y'all have seen me do the Call of Duty ones and stuff like that, and do kind of a watch party over the Grand Prix in Rise of Kingdoms, and so decided we'll do there's going to be an early morning stream. Might as well grab one in and just come hang out with y'all. So if y'all are as excited as I am for it, we're just going to dive right in. I think matches are going to begin here in a couple of minutes. So might as well hook it up, hang out. Make sure if y'all can consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a follow on our Twitch channel if you are watching on Twitch. And hopefully you'll enjoy all the content that's coming. So we'll see y'all soon. Alrighty, let me flip over to, let's make sure that all of this is working. Is it on the console or is it on the cast? Let's find out. It is not on this one, so it might be on cast. It is. All right, cool. So that's what we're working with. I do not, just so y'all know, I did not put the monetization on because I don't know if they have sponsors and that kind of stuff. So I don't have monetization turned on for this, for watch parties, just in case. So that means y'all shouldn't get hit with ads today. So all right, let me fire some music on real quick, and then we'll figure it out. Y'all let me know if y'all want what do you call it? Hold on. If y'all want music on or off, and then volume for them or not volume for them. I don't care either way. It doesn't matter for me. I just want to know what kind of y'all want. Let me see. Where's music? All right. Let's minimize this. I want to check something real quick. This is what I want to see. All right, so it looks like they're loading in. They're about to load in. We got 2 minutes. Okay, so that's what I thought. All right, give me 1 second, chat. I need to add in. All right, there we go. Hopefully that will pull that in for the YouTube stuff. All right, let me see. That. We'll see if it'll load it in here in a little bit. It hasn't loaded in on the live channels for it, but we'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it. All right, what do we got? About a minute? All right, let me turn their volume on. Y'all let me know if y'all want to hear their volume, and we'll go from there. You do that, and
against GV77 here, then that does set them up for a pretty solid losers bracket run.
Yeah, and then also too, even just with talking about mid fights, and I'm curious to see if any of these international teams really start to adopt what we've been seeing from the Chinese servers. I think Plato used the perfect word yesterday. There's been so much variation in these Grand Prix where we see Chinese teams oftentimes not even going for mid fights and sending a small contingent of troops. And really focusing on building structure. So very curious to see as we get into this lower bracket, when these must win or go home matches, on if any of the strategies are going to be adapted from the Chinese server as the gates now open up. Looking at energetic use on both ends.
So the interesting part on this one is going to be
adaptations from the Chinese server
with HJK.
The opening sentries on the gate.
They're 1188
here to kind of see,
and their building game is super strong and their mid game is super strong. Both of these teams are pretty weak at provisioning. So it's going to be, I'm wondering who's going to provision.
Yeah. Pretty
because the building game I think is going to flip flop constantly, so I'm not sure.
It is interesting that we're not seeing any international teams do that that Chinese sentry ward outside of the gates. And yeah, you know, the Chinese strategy of heavy provisioning, heavy defense, and a strong mid focus. Yesterday we saw international teams not really adopt that, but we also saw the dominance of that strategy. I'm not ready to write home and say that's guaranteed to be the best strategy in this Grand Prix, but it probably is. It very likely is. Do either of these two teams adapt that strategy? Because I actually don't think it's that hard to emulate what the Chinese teams are doing, right? You just assign a couple more people to gather. You tell your people to focus on defense first. Don't overextend on the attack.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Everybody to get to mid.
I think it's a lot more difficult than people realize because you're having to like split your brain, if that makes sense. Because what ends up happening is you have 2 provisioners, right, that are out there and 3 that are fighting. And then you constantly, with the way that the marches are set up, you're constantly having to pay attention on, are they getting hit? Are they at a node? Are they returning home? You could be in the middle of a fight and your provisioner is going back home and you have to flip to the provisioner to then send it back to a node. And if you don't know where the nodes are located, honestly, is not that easy. So that's what I would say on that front. Is it the most difficult thing in the world? No, but you have to be very attentive of your marches.
And really looking for the provisions as these teams now are kind of going into a standard opening here. We can see
it's going to be an interesting battle because both of these teams are really good at structure game and mid fights.
On these outside lanes,
and for the most part, when they lose to teams that provision and do one other thing well that they are good at.
Yeah, I'm seeing very light presence for blue team on the outside lane on top. I don't know if they're going to switch that up, but at the moment it looks like GV77 could have an opportunity on that top.
Dude, zoom in. Lane. Ming! That happened to me when I garrison and rally with 3 others in mid. Exactly. Ming. And so that's kind of why, like, for me, I don't want to say, like, I wouldn't say it's easy. Because most players can't even remember to send, to send out their in KVK, that one march that's sitting, getting the rune. You know what I mean? They forget about it for hours. It's honestly not that easy. You constantly having to flip back and forth between the two, and you could be in the middle of a hard fight, and then you're like, oh crap, my provisioner went all the way back home. Now I got to resend them. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's why you get a specialty, maybe 1 or 2 people. The Chinese servers are just very good at it, where they're not sending people the entire game. They're sending them during certain situations.
Before these desert altars unlock.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look
like the timing yesterday. Most people didn't notice it, but when the Chinese servers sent all those provisioners with 466S was when all the structures were getting captured. And then once they settled the structures down, they pulled them all back, they reset the struct and then moved forward.
Blue is probably going to be okay with the defense on this building. The question is, why do they have nobody on the outside lane?
Still no one there. Interesting. Yeah, that's going to leave them susceptible, and this Shrine of Life is going to start getting pressured.
Probably because those cities porting in are going to send to the shrine.
Sky Altar is going to stay in hand for GV77 and probably looking to,
that'd be my guess. The people porting forward.
Go down to the bottom side Desert Altar to get a look at what's going on this bottom side Murder Ball. As we zoom out here to try and get a little bit of a better view, it looks like a pretty even fight here.
Yeah, not too bad for GV77. As long as they can get a draw in a fight like this, then because they have those teleports close by, they'll be able to reflip the building. We do see that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just that key timing of when these things unlock. As long as you can sneak your garrison in there, and then you can just kind of start stuffing it. That's kind of where you want to be at, especially with all the open field troops being relatively low.
Yeah, and here's what you were mentioning getting those garrisons into advanced structures. We saw
Look,
that
the
HJK
shrine.
did grab the desert altar.
They got the
from their
shrine
opponents
when nobody
right
was
back.
there.
And briefly they had an XY in there. But they
HJK
managed to get
is
an
is
arrow
very
into
smart,
the
especially
spot on that
with
desert
CP
altar.
PC
And
keybinds now.
it's going to get some good
You use
value.
the select
It's gonna get some
all
good
and then
value
lose
from
one
this
mark
army.
somewhere in the map. Exactly. He's
And
out in Narnia and you're
it's
just
gonna
like,
make it a
bruh,
little
what?
bit
Yeah,
iffy for
it's
GV77
100%
to get
that.
this building back, but again, I think
Like,
this
I
fight is
get
close
it.
enough.
There's just so
Second
many
wave is
variables
gonna
when
flip
it
the
comes to it. I think
stage over
PC
the
helps.
course of the next 2 minutes.
But remembering, like, oh crap, every 2 minutes that you have to send to a new node, and then knowing where the nodes are, takes practice, takes talent. I would never discredit provisioners because the fact that they now have to like memorize where the nodes are at is wild. I kind of wish they would add like a subtle skill, maybe like a 0-point skill every couple of minutes to allow them to like reveal where the nodes are at. That way it doesn't cost them the game, but it also doesn't kill provisioning.
Forfeit the control that they had up here and re-rotate down.
Yeah, that's a good call out.
GV is a good team. HJK, I think, was the kind of the surprise of the season. It was very unfortunate that they had to play 93 in the semis. That was clearly a finals match.
So, still 5.5 minutes until arc, so maybe they feel like, okay, we've got this ball.
Yeah, it's
eventually, but we have a couple minutes before,
you know, the ones that do it all the time don't have an issue doing it, but when you tell half the team to go provision, they don't know where nodes are at. You're just aimlessly running around.
Like, you know, in Arc where time is so precious, these precious seconds being kind of wasted away a little bit by kind of going back and forth. I can see here at least they'll be kind of
first occupations, which should be coming here in a minute.
Onto this rally here, if they even do decide to swarm it, but they are opting for to clear the open field.
I'm interested to see this mid fight. The mid fight's going to be what's interesting to me.
A little bit of an adaptation there because we've seen from the Chinese servers that they do go for the little bit of a later rotation. We usually see, I think, from Chinese servers now about around 3 minutes, 4 to 3 minutes on those rotations.
No, it's not a Chinese server thing. The top tier teams understand that you don't need to be there 5 minutes early. Very young teams, they start earlier because their players get lost, right? They forget to rotate mid, so they have to start earlier to make sure that everyone gets there. The top teams like GT and all them can push, usually it's around 2.5, 3 minutes because you're just standing there, right? You could spend 2 minutes attacking a structure, and with the amount of speed that are on these marches, you can die an extra rotation and rotate forward if it's a cab march.
It's always a nice call when you're kind of set up here right before that first mid-arc fight.
See, he's circling around to waste their time. And then he's going to, that's a very smart move. Let them swarm. Let them circle around. They're just wasting all their time. The CC ain't going to catch him. So see what I mean? There's 3 minutes and 40 seconds. They'll clear this out, rotate back home because they're so close, and still have enough time to get there by the 2 minute mark to mid. So the timing's going to be top tier.
Going up to the top side real quick, we do see that GV77.
Bro, I really want them to center these structures in the middle of the screen.
Altar of HJK, and it looks like I think that this desert altar hasn't.
They won't capture it.
Occupation points yet. So, fighting for first occupation on this desert altar.
They would need to give up mid in order to get that altar now, which they're not going to do. It's a good tactic because it means that HJK has to go back to re-solidify it, which is just time.
Yeah, it almost looked for a second to me like maybe
they're going to park so far out, it doesn't even matter. The team won't come out that far.
Last week, and really focus on a structure game.
Okay.
Because, you know, they are, because they're really like trying to take back all these buildings, right? They're working to take back their desert altar on the top side.
It's going to be a great fight.
A bunch of marches, you know, to defend their
I think structure-wise, this is what you should expect. It's going to flip-flop nonstop. Mid could be the ultimate decider because neither one of these teams provisions very well. Both of them will definitely have under probably 2K each.
we're only 2 minutes away. We're only 2 minutes away.
Shoot, they may have 2K total between the both of them.
Lot of blue marches on the sides. It almost feels like they might be skipping this one as well.
Yeah, and this does look very similar to, again, a Chinese server team approach, where you see maybe like 10 to 20% of total troops sitting around this mid, just in case the enemy decides not to send a full force too. And that's again some of the variation that we've been seeing in these matches, of just really kind of keeping that guessing game going of are these teams going to go for mid or are they not? And I think we're starting to see, even for GV77, not really bringing too much into the middle. So I think both,
well, they had more in the middle. They just recommitted it back to the outside.
Of troops into the middle and kind of trying to focus on these on this building game here.
Yeah. And, you know, I'll be honest, Dan, I don't really associate this with a Chinese approach to Ark of Osiris. To me, this is what we're seeing more from international teams.
No, you're not.
Feeling like you can win with a strong structure game.
No.
Whereas the Chinese teams are like, we're going to win with mid.
Consenting mid arcs is not an international thing at all.
You know, I don't love this strategy,
especially on the first one, on the first arc. Maybe the second, if you think they're not going to run 3 or 4 arcs, but it definitely is not common for a first arc just to YOLO it and yeet it out.
Hold
on, let me make sure it's loud.
This is funny. I don't think I've seen this before. Two
sneaky
tactics in the middle.
You know, HJK did have Desert Storm on their bar last week. So if they had it, would they use it now? Probably so.
They would have to.
Right.
Both teams kind of
structures are what, 3 altar? No, 2 and 2 still.
Saying, hey, we're marching around here. We don't see anyone. What's going on? As there's 5 seconds until this arc is going to spawn. Just going to blow up the minimap real quick just to give you a glance. There's 3
how blurry. Good lord.
4 HJK, 1 generating points, 1 in hand for GV77 generating points, as this mid-arc fight, smallest mid-arc fight we've potentially ever seen.
Yeah. But a numbers advantage for red, as we sort of
I think unless HJK gets ticks on those structures, this was a wash. I think GV should win this. If they lose this mid fight, pretty chalked.
I would say a
GV should easily win this arc. There you go.
They brought just enough marches to have a very comfortable win, and they used Desert Storm to reveal their enemies while they stayed hidden. And they got a very good pull, and that's all she wrote on this first arc.
Yeah.
Although, as you did point out, HJK did put in some work on the sides, and they've got
but nothing's ticking over yet.
A
Not yet.
Occupation lead at the moment, but
1
they have
minute.
to hold this building for a very long time.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hold it for at least 3 or 4 minutes for 3 altars to make up that arc that they just gave up for free.
I always like to do after a
Which is very difficult against a team like GV. GV is very good at structures.
Looking to have 4
2 provisioners. Nobody's really gathering on HJK.
See any on the side for HJK?
Yeah, really relevant. I think that's extremely relevant that HJK has no gatherers. HJK
It's not uncommon,
does not
though.
really care about that first mid fight. They are going full international style. They really have. Thus far in the match, HJK really has not adapted.
Bro, they keep saying international style like it's an international thing. It isn't.
For this Grand Prix, maybe we see a little bit of an adjustment from GV77, at least in terms of the gatherers.
Yeah, I think it's a good. I mean, look, I feel like in this Grand Prix, with what we've been seeing, with how effective provision can be, I feel like it's almost that you need to have some provisioners out there, right?
It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable, in my opinion. You have no gatherers. It makes no sense.
Yeah, you have to have some to at least counteract the little bit of points. Like, even if it's, you know, even when we're not talking about the massive 6,000, 7,000 points that we've been seeing, even if it's 3,000, like, like we saw two teams lose yesterday due to provisions. Would you really want to lose a match because you didn't provision at all? So really interesting approach here from HJK with not having any gatherers on the field.
It's not uncommon though. HJK, most teams didn't provision this season.
From GV77.
Only the top tier teams were provisioning. So it's not an uncommon thing.
Points per minute, 530 in favor of HJK. 360 points per minute.
See, so here's the question: was it really worth giving up the mid for free when you're only up 200 points per minute?
Safely in hand for GV77, although it has now fallen, but plenty of control around the map. I think that they are going to be able to take.
I think that was a misfire on HJK side.
I think they will hold at least for a little while because of the fact that they used more skills mid. They had that extra Desert Storm that they cast on the mid fight. So they know that HJK's bar is a little bit higher. I wonder if they'll do the full hold. If I'm GV77, I don't mind a full hold because they've actually are proving to be very good on the sides.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have, a bunch of marches middle.
If it's me, the way that I read this situation,
a number of lanes right now.
You ready?
Despite
if HJK isn't going to provision, I hold the art.
Yeah, they are.
Because then even if you lose the second art, it makes no difference because you are provisioning.
So, our Oryx are in some deep trouble here.
I would hold. This is a situation because of who HJK is and what their strengths are. If they're not going to provision, I would hold this arc.
77 on the Desert Altar of HJK. Come on, HJK, hold that Desert Altar.
And then what that allows you to do is that allows you to switch your skills from mid fights to provisioning. So you could use energetic in a provisioning skill if they have it set. I don't know what they have set. They only have 2 extra. So we'll see. They may not have it.
In, as you said, in almost every lane as this Sky Altar falls back into the hands of HJK, but still a nice little bit of troops here and presence for GV77. And going back up to this Desert Altar to see if HJK can get the proper defense, which it looks like they will. And we do have an obelisk flip on this top side. Let's see if that comes into play.
I think it was just empty. It was an empty obelisk.
Okay.
That, Genie. So Genie's Joan March here in the back lines of the blue team. Genie is just sort of looking around for gatherers. I honestly think Genie is looking around for gatherers.
Smart.
This is something else that I thought was interesting yesterday is that teams like 93T really didn't run around with a couple of marches trying to disrupt gathering of 466S. And the other thing that I will note is I did actually watch GV77 in the qualifiers. They played against a Chinese team that was a pickup team on the US server, the international server. And that Chinese team, Aqua, they just applied non-stop pressure. It was not organized pressure. It was just like your march dies, you bring your march back out, you send it immediately to the building that you were attacking a moment before. And that style, Dan, is very different than the style we saw from 93T yesterday, where 93T was balling up and then attacking together as a group. And I do wonder if maybe HJK and 93T were playing practice matches against each other. Those are two teams who are familiar with each other and weren't going to play each other anytime soon. So I wonder if maybe they played each other a lot because they do have pretty similar styles so far in this Grand Prix. And maybe GV77 is throwing something a little bit unfamiliar at HJK here.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it is kind of
they consented mid for free, focusing on structures, and they don't provision. That's their typical strat.
Again, it's just kind of like just the
that's the HJK typical strat. That's how they lost to 93T in Osiris League. 93T surprised me a little bit yesterday because of the mid fights, but that it's not uncommon. 93T when they face off against like teams like GT
any gatherers.
You know, teams like that,
Because
they tend to
what we
lose
saw
mid,
yesterday, there was,
but
again,
they tend to
those
do
two
really good in
matches,
structures. That's kind of their play, and then they provision.
I think both of which
What
that I was
surprised
able to
me
pass.
yesterday with 93T is that they didn't use
Really
energetic
high
with the provision
scores,
strat,
and I'm just
knowing
like, I'm sitting here thinking,
well
like,
that
why-
466
if these
provisions
teams know
quite a
that
bit.
these
So
are very proficient
it's
gathering
kind of
teams,
a
why isn't there a
catch
March or
22.
two just going around and trying to hunt for
I
those
appreciate y'all
provisioners?
hanging out today,
I'm
fam.
really
If y'all
happy
can
that
do
you
me a
called that
favor,
out.
smash
And
that
it is
like
definitely
button.
something to,
Consider
keep an eye
subscribing
on.
if you're
As we
watching us
didn't
on
see any
Twitch.
HJK March's
Drop a
provisioning,
follow,
and that
greatly
might be,
appreciate it.
the
Hopefully y'all
reason
enjoying
why.
the Grand Prix so far.
Well, I don't think that's the reason why. I think Genie is probably in complete shock that they have been running around this map and there's no gatherers. Right?
They don't gather.
And actually, at this point, Genie has changed plans and is just going to swarm down one of these outposts, the center outpost for Blue Team. They waited for one of their second marches to get there, and they're going to try to swarm this Yan that's in this building. But yeah, you know, hey, listen, if you get no value from your Joan because she can't find a gatherer, then you're okay with that, right? You're okay with that.
Yeah.
I would prefer her to be hitting all the marches coming out of the starting zone than hitting the outpost right now.
It's interesting to see the direction that this Grand Prix is now turning. even the community and people that are watching, as chat is asking for a farming check. I don't think that before this Grand Prix, I don't think that you probably see the farming check like a little bit later into the match, but chat looking for the farming check now.
HJK I think was ranked like 30th in the Osiris League for provisioning this season.
Pretty consistent.
They honestly don't.
Out on the field, so really
GV it does do provisioning. I think they were averaging like 2.5 to 3K. So they did some solid provisioning.
It's really amazing.
The difference comes is when they come against teams like 93T and all those that get 5K plus or can get 5K plus. Then their 2.5K doesn't really make a difference. They're still losing on that front.
I think the best way to think about it is just that there are 3 parts to this game. There is the occupation score, there is the arc score, and there is the gathering score. And what you have to ask yourself is, which of those 3 sectors takes the most effort to win? And it is by far
Provisioning.
the occupation score that takes the most effort to win. We're seeing in this match that HJK, they are focused on winning the occupation score. And what has that meant so far?
Provisioning.
They have devoted nothing to gathering, and it means
Oh,
that they
hell,
basically
farmers.
almost no-showed the first arc. Because they needed
Guys,
all
I
of
want
their
y'all to
assets
blindfold
in order to
yourselves
win
and then
that
find
1
everything
out
in
of
your
3
house and
sectors
tell
of
me
the
that's
game.
easy. That's what
Now, what has
provisioning is.
GV77
Just farming in the
done?
dark.
On the other hand, they have won 2 out of 3 sectors of the game so far, because those 2 sectors take way less assets to win.
Yep.
So it just makes you wonder, you know, why focus so much on occupation? Because
It was a
last
failed
week,
strat.
HJK, did win
HJK,
the
I think,
occupation
underestimated
game
how
again
good
for
GV
66
is in
by
structures.
6K points. We
And
saw
you can
93T
tell
win the
by
occupation
them
game
giving up mid
by,
and
I
not
think, 7K
provisioning.
points, yesterday.
Either they haven't watched
And
a GV
it
match
was not
before
enough to win the
for them to
matches.
understand
That's
that
a very,
2.5
very
to
strong
3K
occupation
is going to come in
but it was not
provisions.
enough to win the matches because you're losing
I think they
2
thought
out
they
of
were going
3
to
areas of
dominate
the
them in
game.
buildings, which is going to be hard.
Really like that
I don't think they're going to do
breakdown,
that.
Kind of thinking of it as in, you know, those 3 segments and kind of like those keys of what you need.
It's very smart. I know that people, I talk all the time about why do you hold the arc? Should you hold the arc? All that kind of stuff. In this situation, because I know the opponent, it is a smart play for them to hold the arc.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
It is a
Both
smart
teams
play
now
for them to
using
hold the
dust
arc.
up.
A little bit of a mirrored usage there. 4 minutes until GV77.
The reason being is because both of these teams are equally as strong in both structure and mid. So they're leaving the ultimate decider to be what the weakness of HJK is, which is provisions.
very close match here with that arc that is going to be cashed. We can look at a true score of about 13,500 for GV77 and 10,800 for HJK. So HJK does have a little bit of ground to make up on this occupation.
How much time is left on that timer? I can't see. The red is so hard to read.
Diverted to this building game and structure game for HJK, but not really giving them the good ROI. That return does not look good when they only have a 200-point occupation lead on GV77. As
how's everybody doing today, fam?
Hold here of that Desert Altar was.
What other matches are y'all excited for today? I really wanted to watch party this one. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest.
From GV77 as
That's
they
smart.
head towards the Shrine of War.
Good GV. Let me see what that timer says.
They're
I can't
not really
see.
waiting for, you know, the
3
front of
minutes.
this
Okay.
ball is
I wish
not
they would
waiting for
switch
the
that
back of
text
the
to
ball
white,
catch
make
up.
it so much easier to
They're
read.
thinking pressure right off the bat.
Oh, well, they're doing
And
red because of the red team. I
do
forgot.
think this is a little bit different.
Maybe switch the
than
icon to red
what
and then
you
the
see
text to
from
white.
Horus teams.
I'll make the timer easier to read.
They're just, the ROI is not there so far for HJK. I think HJK, you know, has to be making adjustments in game. They know they have to probably win the second arc.
Yep.
But have they sent any gatherers out
We
yet?
should do a drinking game. How many times they're going to say they
It
should
doesn't look
provision?
like it. Doesn't look like they sent any gatherers out yet.
No gatherers. See, like, I wouldn't mind if they don't send a gatherer, but then maybe, you know, in a couple minutes they maybe unleash a couple marches out and try to sniff out some of those farmers for GV77. Again, I think it's just, you can take the either approach to kind of counteract the provisioning, right? You can allocate the resources to go and maybe try and sniff out where those farmers are, or just do some provisioning on your own, which that would honestly be the easier way, because we talk about how precious time is, and as we saw with GV,
I think the issue right now is that they can't neutralize structures.
I would prefer them
Their strategy works very well because they tend to neutralize and flip a lot of structures outside of theirs. So they're constantly always ticking on their side, and all the other team is neutral. But with GV, they have very strong garrisons, so especially because now it's all leveled up. Or when they say international servers, exactly, Ming.
If you are HJK, with just under a minute and a half until GV77 has to catch this arc, we're about 10 minutes away from the next arc spawning, and probably our last arc, potentially.
Yeah, definitely possible that this is going to be a 2-arc game. We do see a organized attack by HJK on this Sky Altar. Their marches from the top are kind of waiting a little bit for the marches from the side to rotate over. So this is a non-chaotic attack. This is an organized.
The obelisk is blinking on the top right too. Wish they would go look.
It's a pretty solid-looking attack. The only issue here is that the marches are here about a minute before the rally comes.
Yep.
We do see the Scipio Tariq rally on its way. The field is going to try to clear away
Prince,
the red team
what's going on,
before the
brother?
rally gets here. This is
Let's
what
go, big dog.
HJK needs. They need
Good to see
attacks
you.
that at least have the potential.
So,
at least have the
we made
promise
the
of
decision,
maybe flipping
Prince.
this building.
After my wife was talking to me, I think what we're gonna
We'll see if this one
do
works out. You know,
is
what-
I'm
what
gonna
GV77 is
restructure the
gonna do is
Bulbaritos
they're gonna
channel.
throw their marches in. They're going to refresh quick, and they're going to.
and then I'm gonna do the watch
again.
parties for like COD and all
Scripted
that
against,
on.
Chaos here. And
on the
so far,
Bulbaritos
Chaos has been
channel.
winning, but this one looks
I
pretty
just
good
I
for
don't think I have the
HJK, and the
capacity
arcade
to
get returned
split everything
5
into
red
2 and 3 different
A
channels.
really nice attack here
Unless
from
I go
HJK,
full time, which I'm not doing full time right now.
I'm gonna cue back to what you said about GV77.
So I'm gonna transfer. I need to transfer all the Call of Duty casts, and then when Call of Duty launches, we're still gonna do watch parties on Bulbaritos.
Of War as HJK looks to take this Sky Altar here, but I think that the pressure that GV77 is putting on,
Because I still enjoy watching this. I'm not gonna play it though, but I still enjoy watching Osiris League
This rally was
and
or I
casting
should say
over
the
it.
Open field was that little bit ahead of the rally, but it does not matter. HJK is able to take the Sky Altar and properly garrison Heraclius in there.
What's
Also, very
happening?
nice,
Nothing much,
tap
man.
On the side for HJK.
So HJK is 1188,
GV77,
and then
as the
GV77
bottom
is
side
They're
the
also
same
going
one.
for the Desert Altar. Yeah, they're going for the Desert Altar as well. Or yeah, the Sky
Bro,
Altar.
who's controlling this, dude?
Going for the Sky Altar. HJK is,
They're like,
is also attacking the altar on the inside lane.
Zooming in.
You know,
It's
we're
like,
starting to
brother.
see HJK
Brother.
make a little bit of progress on the sides. At this point, GV77 is pretty much saying, okay, the best.
They're really not though. That's
Defense
the
is good
difficulty.
offense,
HJK
where
isn't making up
they're
field.
being very aggressive, even though they're on the back foot a little
The
bit.
occupation
They're
score
playing
is
the areas they need to defend.
nutted.
It's working pretty well.
So
Yeah,
if
yes,
GV
HJK is
wins,
getting
if
a
they
few
give up
flips
the
here
arc
and
in
there,
mid, it's over.
but they're
It's
not
chopped.
lasting too long.
Yeah.
And
Giggity
know,
giggity.
the pressure
How's
is not
the-
quite
how's
as
the
effective as
volume?
it was 10 minutes ago,
Prince?
but I think the pressure
Is the
is
video
still
too
enough
loud?
for GV77 that they will go into this next arc with some semblance of a lead.
Yeah, I agree. And as we look at the point difference here, 2,600 points per minute, dead even at 440.
So you
points
can't
per minute. Let me
you
just
can't
look
give
quick
up
here.
mid
No
like that
provisions coming in
and
yet.
then not come back hard on
HJK
structures.
not having any
But
provisions,
against a
having
team like
that
GV,
sort of
that's very hard to do.
provisioning lead. Every point matters. So yeah, there's just been kind of nice assaults here all over the map, which you love to see, right? As the Sky Altar looks to hold for HJK, if they can actually survive this,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
It held
Right.
a little bit longer than expected, right?
It's
It
going
absorbed
down.
a bit of
20
the
seconds
swarm,
is going down. Wait,
or is right now absorbing
6
a bit
seconds.
of the swarm
Oh,
from
less.
these marches. Rally finally coming in. So I mean, this was actually like probably one of the best attacks that HJK has had so far. They need more of them, but I mean, they probably made like, I don't know, 700 points.
Sorry, I
back
was
for
making
that
coffee,
taking
dropped the
hold,
phone.
something like
Oof.
Yeah, that was that the timing that they.
Dude,
had
we
on
just
that
bought
build
the
was
Ninja
key as
Slushy
they're able to flip
machine.
their bottom side Sky Altar back into control. Map is pretty even again, and GV77 actually
So
we can
good.
actually see marches from both teams now starting to head into mid. As
Looking
this is
good. You
probably
moisturize. I do
going to be
not, bro.
must
It's
win
the Mexican
for
genes,
both
brother.
teams. I think
It's
this
the
mid
natural
part might
grease.
determine
You know what I
the
mean?
match here.
Yeah. If you zoom out and look at the bottom side of the map, for example,
The
you see
natural
things
grease?
cooling off. Things have really cooled off on the bottom side of the map. Neither team really attacked.
The comal. Gotta
Both
flip
teams
the
are probably gonna go
tortillas,
very
and
heavy
you could
mid.
like light a
They know
fire
how
on my
important the
forehead.
second mid fight is. They will both have a full bar. They both have so GV77 has
Dude,
Desert
barbacoa
Storm and
sounds
Sneaky
so good right now.
Tactics. That means that they probably just have To the Death and Bog Down left for their bar. That's probably what they will go with. And I think
Here it comes,
HJK
the
is gonna
three
be forced
skill
to just
pop.
match that. They
The
really
three
can't
skill
go with
pop for
anything else. They
HJK.
can't go with Heaven's Grace because Bog Down will counter that. We're probably going to see a Bog Down plus To the Death from both teams.
I've been going to
So,
Dallas, well, Richardson to be
GV77
exact,
is going to
the
get away with
suburb
having
for
that
that
Desert Storm on their bar.
for
It's not
some
gonna cost
customers,
them.
so I haven't been around much. No worries,
Now,
bud.
if there's a
I
third
love
one,
Dallas.
it'll cost them.
Yeah.
You're a
That
solid
skill
5 hours away from
being
us.
Oh, so critical, especially going into a must-win mid-fight, as GV77 is allocating some resources on that bottom side Sky Altar to
Sorry.
try and get a flip on this.
Yeah, and the thing is, Dan, HJK is going full mid. I mean, HJK is full mid.
Sending the
They've
house.
already taken. Yeah, they're sending the house. They've taken the temple. They've parked on the front porch of GV77.
The one strat that I am honestly surprised about
those
that I
marches
haven't
are
been
on
seeing
that bottom
is
side, outside lane, taking
teams
that Sky
attacking
Altar.
the shrine before
I
mid.
want those marches mid. I don't want them.
It's a
taking
very
that Sky Altar. I
common
want them
thing.
mid.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a
Because
natural
just
thing
the
that
state
it's
of how
split,
this
but
match is
when you
right
take
now,
the
and
shrine, you lose your opponent
second
loses
arc
those buffs.
being,
But nobody's really
the must win
rallied
pretty much, and I
or
think
attempted to do that.
If you get this, and maybe GV77 thinking that it's not so much of a must-win for them, because maybe in the back of their mind they know that they have the provisioners,
Yeah.
so they can continue to put a little
Exactly.
bit of pressure on this building game, because I think HJK would have to cash this arc and then go for a third one to kind of etch this one out. I don't think that
HJK
would
needs
be able
2
to
arcs
hold
to
that arc
negate
very long.
to
If they
negate
do
the
win
provisions
this
that are
arc.
going to be coming in. That's why I
Well,
didn't
I mean,
like the idea of them
they're
giving
not
up the
winning
first
building
one.
game at this point. That's the issue for HJK. They could potentially win the second arc and then just win the occupation score over the final 15 minutes of the match.
It won't.
Yeah, it's boy, a third arc is kind of tough at this point. There's really not that going to be much time left. First things first, they have to win the second arc. I mean, they're in pretty good position here. The numbers advantage looks fairly substantial, I think, for the blue team here.
Yeah, I think there is definitely a little bit of an advantage for HJK on the blue side, as these murder balls really starting to line up for a very heated arc match. And you mentioned cooling
See,
off.
I don't
Look at
see.
the map.
They
It
see
says, like,
GV pulled all their
every
provisioners.
troop that they have available is in the
So the
middle.
score that
No
you're
one
seeing
really
includes the
going in on
provisions.
these structures anymore, and that defense by HJK here to hold that Sky Altar before this.
That's a
mid-arc
good
fight
thing to
kicks
take
off.
note of.
Minute and a half until arc spawns. And GV77 doing a pretty good job with some of these siege towers to push the positioning of HJK back just a little bit.
I like
so they
that.
can kind of reobtain some of that field control here.
They're sitting there getting railed. They're going to be yellow marches from just sitting there.
Until the arc spawns here. They still have a bit of time. We've
Bogged
seen
down towards
teams
the
yesterday,
backside.
like,
Oh,
really
they
go
put
down
it
to
towards the
last
front
second.
side. Oh, no, they didn't. They double
GV77
bogged.
now going in
To the death.
casting bog down,
To the death.
casting to the death.
Mirrored on both sides. Both sides using Bogdown?
Yep, both
Yes.
sides have bog down. Both sides have to the death. Identical skills from both teams. Very.
I
very
do
big
see a lot
mid-fight
more
here.
Hermans on the
I
side
do think
of
that Blue Team has the numbers advantage.
on the side of HJK,
And it mostly looks
and then
that
more
way,
Scipios
although
on the side of
plenty
GV.
of sad faces on both sides here, Dan.
Yeah, this is looking like a pretty even
No, it's not.
mid-fight.
No.
here
Look
in
at the
terms of
sad face
sad
amount.
trains
Look at the
rolling
sad
out.
face amount coming down on the
Looks like
south.
Blue might be starting to take over a little bit
You seeing them? Look, they're they're
there's
rapid
like more
firing. It's not the
trains. There's
same.
more
There's
red,
blue.
red trains here that are going home.
Blue.
Yeah, blue just gradually taking control of this one. It looks
See, and this is why when I was saying I did not like the idea of them giving up the first arc.
Blue as they
That's
start
why.
to kind of push down and try to get rid of some of
All right,
these
so the
fresh
arc
marches
can be
coming in.
grabbed.
Arc
Let's see.
has
They're gonna pull
spawned.
back.
Now let's see if there's a
Yeah, they got
GV77
bombastic
actually
side
might get
eye.
first
Look at
bonus, but
look at
it's
GV trying to
gonna
grab
be
this shit.
thwarted rather quickly.
Yeet.
As there is no support.
He
for
grabbed it.
this
That's an extra
poor
10
double
seconds
C
on
as
the
he
clock.
runs for his
Eddie
life.
Nobody's
Ford.
hitting him.
Sea
Look,
of
he's
blue.
running.
if you're gonna have a fast arc carrier, you do want him to have a name like Daddy Force.
That looked like a slapping for sure.
That is the key arc carrier right there. As it drops, HJK handily taking this mid arc fight. Very good job by them on the macros and the
See what I
targeting that they
mean?
had.
Like,
Just that little bit of a
the idea
number
that they
advantage,
just
and now
gave
it's,
up
hey,
first arc blows
keep
my
this thing
mind.
rolling, and let's get onto our rotations.
HJK are
and let's
very
put
strong in
some
mid.
pressure onto these altars now.
So now it forces
HJK
them.
is
They
going
have to basically
catch
insta cap this arc.
Don't leave it.
They have to insta cap this arc.
I always get so nervous, Brian, whenever
Maybe they
I
can
see
hold it
these
like
arc
1 or
carriers
2 minutes, but they're gonna have to
very
cap it
lonely.
in order to make up
think they
in order to
have
make up
play
the
with fire
provisions.
Here. I mean, if we do a little bit of quick math, this arc's going to get returned at maybe the 17:30 mark. I don't think they're going to take it to the desert altar. So then the next arc will spawn with like 9.5 minutes left. If they do an instant capture, they do have enough time for a third arc. Like, they
If it
do
was
have plenty
if it
of
was
time
me, to be
for a
honest, I would
third
just
arc. They
insta
give
cap it.
themselves, like 7-8
It's
minutes
risky
to,
because of the
return it.
skill bar,
So,
but I have confidence seeing that fight
some
and
interesting
identical
choices here for
skills that I would win mid even
where-
without skills.
They're a structure-focused team.
I think
Their plan
the
coming into
compositions
match
for
was to
mid
win the
are better for
structure game
HJK than
and
they were
maybe
for
take one of
GV.
the arcs, and they thought, okay, well, that will be enough to win. But at this point, because they have not won the structure game, and because they probably know that the enemy is out gathering them,
They need a third arc, guaranteed.
Go for a third arc, or do they rely on the fact that maybe they can win the structure game over the final 20 minutes?
Nah.
I
Cap
don't know,
it.
Dan. Which direction would you go with?
You beat me to it. I was going to ask you that question too. I think if I'm in that voice call, in that war room, I think I'm making the call of saying, hey, we need to cash this. I think you're going to have a little bit of a morale boost too, from winning that mid-arc fight, right? I think those victories within the match, especially the mid fights, because of the importance around them, I think that will give the players a little bit of a morale boost. And I think if you're in that war room, you got to call and you got to say, hey, let's cash this thing and let's
That
go for
train
a
from
third one, because
GV77 looked like
you have those
80s
question
dad
marks,
leaving
right,
to the
in the
store.
back of your
Yeah,
head.
to
Are
go.
you provisioning?
He went to go
How
get
much-
milk.
how much are
He went to
you
go get the
provisioning?
milk, Prince.
And to your point, they came into this match.
It was never
with the
coming back.
strategy of going
Baby,
building
come
focus,
back.
and it hasn't really paid off for them too much. So I think they have to go and score.
He's Going to the store to get the milk.
As even you can see here, GV77 kind of now taking the approach and putting pressure on almost every.
It's smart. They don't need to put pressure, but I like that they're not sitting back.
The scripts kind of
because the reality is HJK has to capture this arc. They need a third one.
It's kind of like now flipping their strategy in a way. It's really quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. I would probably do a very quick capture here, maybe even an immediate one, just to give yourself as much time as possible on this third arc. You pointed out a number of good factors.
Why are they
were very strong in that second?
Are they trying to use energetic for maybe Heaven's Grace?
Here, as we watch, you know, GV77 put a lot of pressure on this Desert Altar and on the Arc Carrier. One factor to consider is the skill bar of GV77, where they have sneaky tactics and they have Desert Storm, and they already used To the Death. So the question is, if you have a third mid fight, what skills is GV77 going to use mid, right? They can never use, they really can't use 10 full points unless they use Desert Storm and Sneaky Tactics, which are both suboptimal mid skills. So they probably go with something like Bog Down, Dust Up, and Sneaky Tactics, which is fine. That's a 9-point fine mid. But what, you know, probably HJK has Total Vision as the third skill. They can use the full 10 points. They can use Total Vision instead of Sneaky Tactics.
Okay, first off,
that gives them a nice little.
They're not going to have 10 points in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that damage
so
is going to be huge.
all these strategies that they're throwing around don't make sense.
Yeah, cashing the arc, going for a third one.
Because they're talking about as if they had a full skill bar. They don't have a full skill bar. They literally just popped all their skills 2 minutes ago. They're not going to have a full 10 bar.
Quick glance out.
They'll maybe have 3 or 4 points for the next arc, unless they hold it, which they did not. They just captured it right now.
You're fine.
You probably win,
and they missed it.
It's not like GV77 has a lot of gatherers. It's hard to calculate a little bit because so many of them are like forward. They've had a lot of forward gatherers. In this match.
That's the reason. The reality is,
it looks like Slonik
if they use Total Vision and Dust Up in mid for HJK, they're going to win that mid fight.
Yeah, it's tough to give them 4K. I can't give them 4K gathering points here.
No, they average 2.5.
With 4 or 5 marches gathering the whole time.
Yeah, it might be a little.
They weren't.
Short. It might be a little short on that.
See, those are the little things that sometimes miss. Is when you don't zoom out during mid fights, you don't notice when the provisioners aren't provisioning.
We can't say it's
so that's why I always like before mid fights, I always zoom out because I want to see the whole map and provisioning.
Yeah, HJK does a nice job.
What a lot of teams do, very few teams outside of like one EEA and a couple of other teams will keep their provisioners provisioning all game long. They don't go to mid, they don't do anything, they just provision. Most teams will provision and then send those marches to mid for fighting. That was one of the things that 1V originally started several years ago. So then they would get provision points and they wouldn't be down marches in mid fights.
Such a cooling off period before the last arc. Both teams, as the match winds down,
they'll probably have like 4 points.
They're going to see
3 or 4 points. But remember, they did pop HJK popped energetic. A couple of minutes ago, so they may have like 5 pushing 6. So you may see a later push.
Go heavy mid.
You may see a later push this third arc from HJK just so they can get that extra little tick on the bar.
Yeah, and those
I'm expecting 1 skill to get popped from GV and then 2 to get popped from HJK.
You know, making
and I think that will be the difference
on what they want to do. It is a little late in the match now. I don't think that will play too much. That it kind of leaves that to composure, right? So like if you take that outside lane, it obviously is always a thought in the head earlier in the match, but it kind of forces it leaves room for the opponent to make a mistake, right? So if they do decide to go to retake one of those outside structures, it's kind of quite silly when you know you need everything mid, as we do see HJK starting to pour some troops into this mid over here.
Yeah,
I'm tossing in a poll before we lead into this final arc. Who do y'all have winning the final arc pool, GV or HJK?
GV77 does have options here because of that gathering game, because they essentially have the lead right now because of their gatherers. They actually have options here where they could potentially sack the third arc if they feel like they're going to get a good amount of points on the side, right? Give up the third arc, make up like 1,500 points with a few minutes of occupation wins. They could do it. They could do it.
I was thinking that.
I think the thing that they're failing to realize is that
let's not go mid and we're going to go
GV, their provisioners have been returning their provisions, right? Most teams that provision like 93T only bring them in within the last like 30 seconds, right? GV has been dumping their provision score throughout the game. So there is no 2.5K, 3K that you can expect at the tail end of the match because they've been dumping in already. So they don't have that in the bank anymore. It's no longer in the bank.
As you alluded to, HJK kind of showing their hand a little bit on an early arc rotation. It does give GV77 kind of a hint that they can probably take that approach.
3.5 minutes isn't that early.
If we see that, we do see some GV77.
For most international teams, that's actually decently late.
Quite a lot. So
international teams.
Get a third arc showdown here.
Yeah, the moment to make that decision to go sides was about 30 seconds ago when HJK did that fast rotation. We can see now that the call has been made by GV77 to also go heavy mid. I can totally understand that call. It's a really tough call to make. It's a really tough call to say, like, okay, I think we're going to get enough points if we focus the sides.
It's not that
give
tough.
Away
There's very few teams that are going to hold like that. Like 93T is super organized. So that's why they were able to do that with 466. Not very many teams are that good.
They haven't had that really big win.
The reinforcements have to be on par in order for you to hold forward structures like that in a long duration.
Let's actually focus the sides. You know, a very human.
Yeah, I think they're standing pretty far out because of the
Stark has been a very good shot caller. Very
what do you call those things? The totem things that reveal their position.
He is betting his game here now on potentially winning this third arc, although so far the script is about the same as last time. HJK taking the temple once again. The only difference here is that we are seeing full numbers, full mobilization from GV77. They don't have anybody on the sides this time.
My prediction is HJK pops 2 skills because of the energetic,
hopes that is enough,
and GV has 1 skill
of this third arc. 90 seconds or just over 90 seconds.
Sending the kitchen exactly
before the next arc.
And it's interesting to see over here too that GV77 has taken a Shrine of Life, so some kind of precious buffs here. Although it looks like the rally will probably handle this thing, but that could have been a
Shrine of Life isn't
health and march speed not having that in that mid fight. So
Shrine of War is where it's at.
I think that rally might be able to take care of that Shrine of Life and flip it back into the hands of HJK as we're a minute and a half away.
The Shrine of War would have been important. If it was that important, that GV would have already been pushing in.
Push or trying to retake that positional.
Because then you want to play with your foot on their throat if the buff was that good.
GV77 using a sneaky tactics here. Gonna look to walk up this wall, so a little bit of a sneaky tactics play here from GV77, and then also from HJK with their own sneaky tactics as well.
Interesting. So they're going to just go with the same skills. They're preferring sneaky tactics to whatever they have left on their bar.
So here's the reason why sneaky tactics in that situation is terrible, because they're getting shot at, and so they already gave away their position, right? If you're sitting in a ball and only a certain amount of marches are there, and
they're not going to be
the march that isn't being hidden is getting shot. They know exactly where your ball is at.
By GV77 as they now
so they just wasted skill
and really sort of cover a lot of territory. Now both teams intermingling quite a bit. Death's coming a lot slower because neither team has to the death.
Yeah, this is looking kind of very
oh no! Look, nah, look at the red. Look at the red.
Almost the same pace.
It's the mid compositions. I'm telling you.
This thing over a little bit.
Watch, you're gonna give it like 10 seconds, and the red's gonna be like, wait for it.
What I would say.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
This pull is gonna be big. The arc just appeared. So who's gonna get the pull? It looks like HJK's in a little bit better position at the temple.
HJK with the
There you go. HJK pulls.
Just gonna grab it.
And they're about to get out of the bog down.
Clean grab by HJK. This is huge. Oh, this is huge, Dan.
And it looks like they are
GV77, come back. Where y'all going?
Lots of blue, not that much red. Clean pull from HJK as the Joan is
HJK pulls it.
like this is
and
a
GG's.
win or go home match, chat. GV77 with their Grand Prix lives on the line here as they try desperately to get control of this arc. I just want to cue out, and it is a 2,200 point lead for GV77 right now. Just going to take a quick look. Provisioners have started to come in a little bit.
That's what I was saying. They've been coming in.
600
Maybe like an extra 1,000 points will come in. But like I was telling you, GV, when I said in the beginning, GV averages around like 2.5K provisions. They're not going to blow you away with provisioning. They just, they have that kind of there.
Yeah, so HJK had to win this mid. They had no chance to win the match if they did not win this third mid.
The good part is they can instantly capture this thing and then just
with a 20
go full building.
point lead, plus all those gatherers. I think they can
Evil
win.
clown. How's it
so
going?
Now, like, as
Clown.
sort of thinking about
Make sure,
ambushing
fam,
this
if y'all
arc
can,
area,
share the link out,
they
share
might
the
be
stream out with
faking
your
the ambush and
friends
actually just
if you
wanting
think
to
they'll
take the
enjoy it.
building.
If you're enjoying it, drop a
don't
like on the
think you
stream.
really go
If
for
you're
the
watching
ambush
us on Twitch,
when you have the chance to win,
drop a follow.
without
Greatly
it, right?
appreciate
you
it.
don't need to hit a home run.
Yeah.
Here, if you're GV77, you more so
That's
need
exactly
to hit,
what I would
a
do.
really
Exactly.
solid double.
Just cap it.
Because
You don't need to
have
hold anymore.
win the occupation
There's no
game
more
in
art
this
time.
Final 7 minutes. And we're going to have a very big fight at this Desert Altar. You can see that HJK knows the score here, and they are not going to give this Desert Altar up easily at all.
Did the arc runner?
Their
I can't
players are
see. Did he go
rotating
north? I think he
from
went north,
the
right?
middle to this building. So this is going to be a really tough take. I think HJK is probably going to hold here.
Yeah, they're gonna swarm. They'll swarm the rally down.
Sure.
Look, it's already
GV77
getting hit.
with a nice
It's bouncing,
timing on this rally.
bouncing
Honestly, dude,
everywhere.
I would say is really quite impressive with that rally timing and the mid arc fight that they just did. And again, it's so easy as for us.
Well, you can set rallies when all your troops die. You know what I mean?
Everyone in chat.
Yeah, you went to the obelisk. Okay, cool.
To pull that
I didn't
rally
pay
off with that
attention.
timing on that rotation, honestly, was pure perfect from GV77 as they look to continue the pressure as the
Stage
assault
2 on Heroic
the
Anthem, but
Desert
weird
Altar
Diplo.
of HJK.
Ooh. I don't envy Diplo.
Yeah, they need to get this. I feel like they need to get this flip, honestly.
I always loved our
This is the
leadership in
kind of flip
1307 back in the
GV77 has
day.
to have. Good attack on the Sky Altar on the bottom side as well. I
Yeah.
mean, this is really close right now. These two teams are. This is a
Glad
very
to see
close
you.
match.
Hey, I appreciate it, Evil. Thank you so much, bud.
Definitely
I appreciate
gonna
you.
go down to the wire.
Yeah, we've been
it
shuffling
looks
some
like
stuff
GV77
around.
is going to
I was
flip
originally
this
going to set up
bottom-side
a
Sky Altar out of control
Call of
for
Duty specific
HJK.
YouTube channel,
That is
but then I realized
huge.
I don't
That
have
is
the
huge.
capacity.
HJK cannot lose this top-side
My
Sky
wife,
Altar.
my
There
wife
is
was telling me
a
to,
presence
and she had been telling me, and I refused to listen. But now I'm gonna have to listen. I just don't have capacity to do the Bulbaritos,
Yeah, HJK
the Call
needs
of
to
Duty
find a
channel,
hole here
and the food
somewhere.
channel. I just
can
don't
give
have
them
enough
14
time.
points. That
So
puts them at
I'm gonna
31,
migrate over the
94.
Call of Duty
But we
content
gotta figure
from
there's more
that
than
one
1,500 points
to the
to gather now
Bulbaritos,
for the red team.
and then we're gonna do
So
watch
right
parties
now
for
it's
Call of
maybe like
Duty. I
500
may
to
consider
150
doing some
point lead.
Fortnite ones. I'm not
For
sure
red
on
team. I
how
know it's
to
hard to
do
figure
those
this
though,
thing
so
out
we'll have to
because,
research
You
it.
know, the scores are hypothetical in a way. Yeah,
And if you
it's close,
like
Dan.
in-game rewards and stuff like that, we do have a Twitch channel
Yeah,
now
I
that
think
we
we
were
have more
doing
than
like
that. I
the
think they have, like, a
drops,
slight
Twitch
lead. I think
drops,
red
and all
team
that
is
kind of
very
stuff.
slight lead
So
right now.
go drop a follow if y'all are interested in that. I think we're gonna be doing some Black Ops 6 if they have drops. Be doing them there.
Four gatherers throughout the entirety of the match, and now
They haven't had 4 gatherers the entirety of the match. They keep bringing them in.
will start to appear on
They
the
keep
map
bringing them
for
in, bro.
HJK knows that they need all
The
points
international
that
server.
they can acquire as well, and finally making their own provisioning call.
And they
as
capped it, and now they are
desperately
up
need to
by
get this Sky
what?
Altar back in control. This is
1.3K?
generate points for GV77. That is something that they cannot afford right now. They couldn't afford losing it.
They can't lose. They can't lose altars. Forget
They
provisioning.
can't lose. Yeah, their retake push has to work, but look at how walled up they are. Really walled up here.
They're just going around. Nah, they ain't walled up,
I
brother.
mean, they have
They're
massive
running around
presence.
them.
They're gonna make this retake attempt like super tough. Look at all the yellow health marches from GV77. You know, this is like just getting a lot of value for your marches. If they went home, or if they
See,
had
that's a
stat
smart
phase,
play on
like
HJK
intentionally
side.
stat
Just
phase,
run around
they do
them.
none of
Look,
this
look at
stuff.
they're
But all
reinforcing
their
from the
marches are on
sides, from the
yellow
shrine.
health. and they're
There's
getting
running around
very,
them.
very good value for those marches. Can they hold this thing? Marches, blue marches rotating over. They thought about attacking the desert altar. Those marches redirected to come and retake the sky altar. Those rotating marches might have made the difference, actually, for this retake, but still you wonder if it's going to be enough.
It's
right
enough.
now,
It's enough.
HJK is losing. They are losing this match right now.
Yeah, and it's such a shame to say it's going to come down to provisioners yet
What?
again. And just want to call back to
How are they
those,
losing?
low health
I'm so
troops
confused right
that
now.
you
What
keyed
match
in
are they
on,
watching?
Brian. Those troops were just enough
Losing.
to bring
We've
that
already
rally down and
established
pretty much
that their
squash it
provisioners
before
have been coming in.
ever hit the
The
altar.
provisioners have been coming in nonstop
And
through the
in
match, so the
where it's
provision
been
score
really
isn't going to go
actually
much higher.
smallest
Maybe
amount-
like
smallest margin
700,
of
800
points,
more,
smallest margins
maybe
of
1,000,
timing.
but that's it.
That was
It's not
huge
going
for
up,
them
and
to
they're down by
get that rally down
a little
before it
over.
was
Well,
even hit the sky
they're bringing
altar.
it back now because they're getting ticks on this altar.
Yeah, it's taking HJK quite a long time
Yeah.
to
That's the unfortunate.
get
There
the
you
sky
go.
altar back.
So they'll get it.
This was
They'll get an
the
extra
critical
tick
mistake that HJK made
in about
as they
for about
were
a minute. So they'll get a couple
capturing
of
that
ticks.
second arc was losing the sky altar. They held the desert altar. They did a nice job on the top side to mostly hold that desert altar. But the sky altar, they cost them a lot of points. And if this thing is like a 500-point game at the end, we can look back on this sky altar and be like, that made the difference.
Yep, as we have two.
Oh, you know what made the
over
difference?
2.5
Them giving
minutes
up,
now.
conceding the first arc for free. That is what gave them the match, not the altar.
310
I still don't understand why HJK gave up the altar for free. That was a huge dud. Based on all the fights that we've seen in mid, them giving away the first arc for free might probably costed them the match if they lose.
Big attack
Because
on
of
the
how
top
strong
side.
they've
Big
looked in
attack
mid.
on the sky altar.
Yeah, nice
They,
rotation. here.
they need to have this. I mean, they lost their Shrine of Life, though, too. Like, they already lost their Shrine of Life.
So now we're getting into the neutral game.
I mean, they
right?
need to
Because
have
it takes
this.
2 minutes to capture.
really,
the neutral
You know, we
structures
talked
aren't
about-
going to
Alex
get
mentioned
captured
this
again.
yesterday.
So it
You'd
comes
love
down to
have
the
log
neutral
down
game.
to slow some of these gatherers coming home, because it almost feels like that's the win condition. And actually, we're seeing a lot of GV77
Guess who
coming
gave them
now.
that idea?
These might be the like really like brief
the late call,
gatherers.
the late
Yeah,
call
we're seeing
versus-
Slownik is still out there. Some of Slownik's marches are still out there, but not too many of them. Yeah,
They're not going to
I
bring
mean,
in that many points, man.
It's close, Dan. It's close.
This is literally going to come down to the wire as there's now a 100-point lead for HJK, the third arc that they.
This
they
neutral
tried
on this
so
altar is
hard
going to be
get,
huge if
and
HJK
one
can get it.
is now being
Yeah.
thwarted.
That potentially means no
Big
more points for
Slownik-
that structure.
Big Slow on the bottom side, we see Slownik's march going to his city, kind of south of the obelisk. A Joan march that has probably been out there the whole friggin' time.
Did
That's gonna be a big
GT
one.
lose again? I don't know.
Be a big one.
Here we go.
GT cost me
as
some
we get
coins.
into
Did
the
GT
final
lose?
minute Of this match, Slownik
Who were they playing? Oh, 489, right?
Provisioner coming back to the city, not risking that thing getting killed out on the field, or in a node, I should say. And let's see what this is going to do to the point boost. 1,800.
See what I'm saying? They'll probably get somewhere around like 2,000, 2,500 is what I was guessing.
Wow.
28.
Yeah, 1K lead now.
Ooh, that Slownik march had about 1,000 provisions in it alone. So
Yeah, he's got another one coming in too. I'm seeing another one coming in very, very briefly here. A Sarka. Oh no, two Slownik marches coming in. Oh, it's gonna. He's about to drop a couple of bombs, I think.
Oh yeah. This
Oh,
is
and a Centurion for good measure.
so one whole
3K.
dedicated player
It's
to
good.
provisioning in the last few seconds of this match. Looks like all provisioners
Ooh,
are
look at that
HJK.
provision score.
HJK
37
and
jumped up to 3K.
losing this match on the provisioning front. A huge play from GV77. GG's to them.
Told you.
Sending home.
I don't know why they gave up. The
HJK.
first arc was what threw the match
takes
off.
The win. 4,700 provision points.
That's
to
great. That's a great score.
1,200, winning the
They typically
occupation
don't
game
get that
as
high.
well, and it's
So
really
that's
interesting
huge.
to see how HJK really started out looking to take the occupation game to GV77, and that script just totally flipped here. Wow, what a match. Any thoughts to conclude here, Brian?
You know what? Better team won. They.
All right. See, I'm still hurting with Lilith confirmed VIP 19. I laughed so hard when I heard it. because dude, everybody's celebrating for the cosmetics and nobody's gonna reach that. It's gonna be wild, bro. It's gonna take most players on average, even with all the VIP, if they hit, probably, unless you're getting a ton of VIP, it's probably at least a year before you get to SVIP. Unless you're someone like Mad Phantom or somebody that consistently buys bundles with VIP in it, you're not gonna be anywhere close to it. I think in order to completely fill up VIP 19, I'm suspecting it's probably gonna be like 2 million VIP. 2 million, 2.5 million VIP. And based on, yeah, Prince. So they decided to do, I really wish they would have a countdown for this, not a 415. What do you call it? VIP 19, and the buffs are trash, right? I kind of wish what they would have done, right, and is smart with it. So 19 and then SV, yes, exactly. So what I wish is, because the VIP 19 stats are so trash, I really wish they would have just removed that and gone from 18 to SVIP and then added a skin, a city skin that would give those buffs. Because it doesn't make sense to spend 2 million. You're gonna have to use 2 million VIP to get shitty buffs. So SVIP is basically, think of it like, what can I compare it to? I don't honestly know what to compare it to. Basically, moving forward, it's 20 plus. Basically, there won't be any more additional buffs. What they're gonna toss in is all the cosmetic stuff. They're gonna toss in all the cosmetic stuff. All right, is there another match we want to watch? Because I don't think I want to watch this one. This one I think is gonna be trash. Is there a better one going on right now? Y'all tell me if there's another match to watch that y'all want to see. So I don't think it's getting tapped. I think they're adding, well, actually that might be the case, but they're adding in like a special SVIP shop where you can get in like the animations when your city loads in. They'll have animations for that, skins, a bunch of cosmetic things, but they're gatekeeping it behind SVIP, which I'm kind of like, the reality is maybe 100 players in the entire game of Rock will be able to access that for at least a year. If you gatekeep it with VIP 19, there's zero shot. Maybe 100 people, because it's going to require 2 mil. Probably I would estimate like 2 million VIP just to complete VIP 19, which it took me a year plus to complete VIP 18, and I was in an alliance that actually spend money. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough. The SVIP wheel, yeah, that nobody can afford, right? Unless you're a whale. Train speed and attack bonus. Yeah, trash. Nobody wants attack bonus. Give us health. Give y'all defense. Give you something. Attack bonuses. Ugh. Ugh. The whales have more than 2 million VIP in the bag, plus the extra VIP will be returned. Exactly. That's why I'm saying, Clown, like, unless you're a whale or like a high mid spender, you're not going to have enough VIP for it. And they don't have enough like variety of ways of collecting VIP for it to be a thing. Oh, do we want, I really don't want to watch this one. Is there a different one we want to watch, fam? Let me see. Hold on, let me see if there's a different one. GT 489, that's the one we're gonna watch. Bop. I don't know what song that was, but we're just pausing that. All right, let's get in it. Who are we at? Uploader and Redline. Look at Redline.
Mostly around the structures. Like, I feel like a lot of teams are playing catch up if they don't secure their buildings. Like, you've seen the last
health, defense, and speed. Yeah,
top teams were losing was because
it's like a health skin list. We'll never drop it. Yeah.
Like, Arc has always been a focus in previous tournaments, or has always been a focus in Arc. But now, like, matching the timings, understanding like the movement.
All right,
of
fam.
the opponent, it just
Y'all can do me a favor, smash that like button on the stream, share the stream link out,
we're moving around beer.
invite your friends if you think they'll like it.
1960 people in there.
And if you're on our Twitch, drop us a follow. I greatly appreciate it. We're growing that channel.
And plus, they're international server, man. So like it's in terms of like strategy, like you mentioned, I truly feel like it's going to be really just fixing and closing the gaps from what they've experienced the last couple matches.
This should be a good one. It is win or go home. The winners, though, will still be in the lower brackets, and they will be versing 748W, who had a close match against tournament favorites GY16. So it's not exactly the easiest run in this lower bracket for the winner. But it is yet another chance.
Oh,
If
wait,
you
this
were to
isn't
win, it'd
GT?
be a
What?
rematch of the first
Oh,
round of the upper
bro.
bracket.
Was that the last match? Dude,
S96S
fail.
have not versed 748
Fail.
as of yet, so that would be.
I don't want to watch this one.
But Beer essentially is fighting for a rematch, while S96S is.
Who
fighting
else
for
is
their
playing
ticket
then?
live.
Hold on. Is it just those two? Ooh, both of these suck. Who do y'all want to watch? Y'all want to watch Beer S96 or do you want to watch 63S? Ugh. Who do y'all want to watch? Y'all tell me in the chat which one y'all want to watch and we'll go to it. It's either Beer versus S96S or 63S 466W. Who do y'all want? Who do y'all want? I don't know if the beer one's gonna be good. That's my worry. I guess we'll just do the beer one.
Okay, am I
That's
focusing on
fine.
structures? Are we going mid? Like,
All right, here we
I
go.
really think that's what we're gonna see here. It's the last 10-15 minutes. I'm really interested to see what happens with the
Beer just for the
25
name,
plus
exactly.
provisioners that might be
There you
coming
go.
out.
That's what I like to see.
25 plus provisioner is just looking for any caravan.
I think this one's gonna be a blowout, to be perfectly honest with you.
As we see, there you go. We have 4 obelisk rallies. This last obelisk rally on the top side being delayed. 3 obelisk rallies coming out from Beer. Looks like they're going to be at least.
Oh God, Rock
it's only
Beer
one
just for the
offensive
name.
obelisk
I lost
rally
my
in this
mod.
Bottom side obelisk of S26. We could go
Oh,
all the way
Beer
down to
Red is
centuries.
hosting. You lost your mod.
Mid
Nah,
centuries
we're gonna
for those
be
teams.
we're gonna be
Only one
doing
century
more
place so
things.
far.
I
In
enjoy the
front
Grand
of
Prix
the
and I was
Shadow
watching
War,
it, so I thought we'd do a little watch party on it.
their opponents
But we're
Desert
still gonna be
Altar
we're not
approach
buying back into
I will
Rock.
say the Chinese
Osiris
server
League will always
seems to
be
really
love
put
of
a
mine,
lot
so
of
I will
emphasis
most likely do watch
into
parties
inner
for
lanes
Osiris League
compared
and
to
Grand
those
Prix.
international server teams where there has
And that's
been a
probably
meta
about it for the
where
Rock
you
content.
focus these outer lane structures.
We're still gonna be doing Fortnite, Call of
think
Duty, watch
the Chinese
parties,
server
all
teams
that
are
kind of stuff for
really
other games.
stack the inner
So I won't
lanes,
really be
wipe
making
that inner
Rock
lane
content
resistance from their opponents, and
outside of
then
a couple
rotate out
live
to the outer
streams.
lanes.
And
Yeah, looking at the.
I don't even know if I want to do.
Focusing on the inner lanes
I could
here.
technically
About
do
to
like
see
the match
class in the next
casts and then
15, 20
repost them, but
seconds.
I don't know if I want to.
Not much of
That's
a
just more
difference in
Rock
terms of
content.
strategy, Paul, that I'm seeing,
But we'll see.
across here.
We'll see. I'm not
Obelisk
100%
actually
sure. I don't
all
want
the
to.
timings, like, pretty
I
much
always like having the
completely
match
mirror,
casts.
like you said. So it's gonna come down to like who's gonna take the field and get these first occupations.
You could see
AOE
that the
mobile
Sentries
is worse than Rock,
getting
way more
all
pay to
the
win. We're gonna
different
find out this week.
Beer that sees
gonna find
all
out
of the
this
units
week.
going into their Desert
We're gonna be
Altar,
playing. We're gonna be
and
streaming
is
that.
also mirrored.
We're gonna be
in
streaming that this week.
S96. I will say though, there
Probably
are
when I get
less
off of
users
work.
from Beer going to
What
this
day is
Desert
it?
Altar
17th, right?
compared to
That's
the
on
units from
Thursday.
S96S going to Beer's Desert Altar.
So I think I'm gonna jump in with Oppo. I think Drago's doing one. A bunch of the old Rock creators are hopping on AOE.
Walking towards the obelisk, perhaps.
What do we got here? Is this? Do you think?
Oh, no worries, KSI.
Is this?
I have no idea what is going on with the game now. Yeah, it's pretty wild. That's kind of the beauty of Osiris League though, is it doesn't matter what changes, the game mode we all know it ain't gonna change. You know what I mean?
S96S though, with their
You know what I
sentry,
mean?
have a full vision of this little contingent of troops. So I'm not exactly
Two
too
commanders
sure
were
what
free to
the
play,
plan
can't
is.
get.
Perhaps it was a feint into an obelisk play.
Hey,
but now they are
we're gonna find
starting
out,
to reconvene
evil clown.
with their
I'm not saying I'm gonna overly invest in it.
Ball.
I just want to test it out and try it out and see what it's all about. And if it's not for us, then hey, it's not for us, brother. I want to make sure I'm having fun with the content, because once it starts getting stale, it's very forced, and I don't want it to feel forced. I want to enjoy gaming and streaming with y'all. We did a Billy the Puppet, gameplay yesterday on Fortnite. Bro, I had so much fun. I was sweaty as hell, but it was fun as shit.
I think that it's going to be pretty even. I feel like in the next, after these fights here, it should be an even occupation across both teams.
Everything is pay to win nowadays.
I mean, because the timings are
kind of.
on both
Call of
sides,
Duty
right?
isn't.
Both sides are playing very defensive.
Even though I think people are saying like some of the skins in Warzone, but
I really think
it is what it is.
The map is looking, it should be even across, unless one of these teams get a sneaky march and touch it first. So, from what I've seen so far, I think it'll be pretty even.
It does look like this murder ball is pretty even, as you were talking about. The sad faces coming out from both sides. Although I will say, S96S.
KSI, send me a friend request. It's just Bulbaritos on there. But message me on Discord. Message me on Discord. Let me know what your name is on Fortnite. That way I can make sure.
With all of the blue dots.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing some Billy the Puppet, more of those. I'm gonna release some shorts. We're gonna do a whole bunch of shit. I'm gonna do Billy the Puppet from Saw. If you don't know who Billy the Puppet is, he's the Saw doll, the one that comes out on the tricycle. That's Billy the Puppet.
I don't know if they have a garrison for the Sky Altar, but at least denying the first garrison there from S96S, delaying the capture by a couple seconds here. If we look at the rest of the map,
y'all see what I'm saying?
4 altars first capped, 2 none from Beer, so extremely impressive.
Need to hop on Fortnite? Hell yeah. Filled Minecraft and made it pay to win. You need a subscription to play? Ooh, they turned into the WoW strategy.
They did get an outer garrison there as well, but S96S.
Oh, that's Sinju. Got you, brother.
Altars a little bit there, so a good play from
Yeah. I need to get on some WoW with you. I always forget you switched your name.
Impressive that they were able to get those marches because of how S96 was set up. I didn't expect from the.
So you don't have mod because I don't know what that account is.
That easily.
That's
so
why.
It's interesting to see, but timing again, I feel like what was key there, but I don't really see it as a huge impact. Maybe a few seconds in advance of Beer, but things are going to stabilize and we're going to see a lot of back and forth in this match based on what I'm seeing.
I'm surprised that Beer was able to get to the Desert Altar. Seeing the murder ball of S96S that was in front of the Desert Altar, that is now encroaching into Beer's Sky Altar. They're able to get a garrison in there, Redline. I'm not exactly too sure how that garrison slipped into the Desert Altar, got first tap. It shouldn't matter though.
People coming in are probably like, who the hell is this guy?
In first occupation, first capture. But it shouldn't matter too much for this first arc of time.
Yeah, Bask wanted to jump on. Baskevitz wanted to jump on for Fortnite, but he's out of town.
Like these S96S marches are trying to pressure the altar.
We did your mod for the new channel on Twitch,
so that they could have a good mid rotation.
Exactly, that is exactly what it is. A lot of times in this first fight for the first occupation, during those fights, most people just retreat back to the cities because of the distance. But here, S96 like, you know what? Everybody smash your troops into this building. And again, it could give them the advantage in terms of getting to the middle. Now, are both teams going to focus on this first arc? Maybe, but I like what they're doing here from the S96 side.
Yeah, I mean, it does make it a little awkward.
Buildings are they're split 50-50 right now.
That are now swarming down the marches, attacking the Sky.
So the issue comes in with timing, right? Even if they flip this,
the yellow house,
you're going to have to rotate mid.
The Joan of Arc, the Huaki Bing. They probably won't be able to sad face on this S96S. At least S96S should actually keep them alive because they will.
Who's winning here? Who you got?
Which
so Beer, I believe they said is
or they will have 1960 and that will make them a
Mixed team, I think is what they said. It was mix of Russians and I don't know. They're a 1960 team. It's like a blend. It's like a throwaway team. And then S96S is a Chinese server team.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would take the
4
Chinese
minutes
server
until the
team in
arc
this
spawns,
situation.
Right? And this outer lane.
I think
of
Beer
the
is solid, but I think
Scout, they're gonna be
S96
super
is
late.
going to beat him in mid.
Because now if you have to
If I had to
refresh,
take a
they're
stab
gonna
at it.
send everybody mid,
If
but
I had to take a stab at it.
that's the thing. Like now they have to make a decision. Whatever's happening in Discord right now, like are they gonna go everybody shift mid, or are they gonna focus on structures? And now they're probably figuring that out right now.
Haven't
But
gone to
based on what
sleep
we
yet.
saw, looks like
My
S96
eyelids
going
are
heavy
dropping.
for
Oh
them.
no.
And is Beer gonna counter?
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, Beer looks like they were able to flip the outer lane Sky Altar of S96S. They do have a Heraclius Garrison in there as well. And the thing is, Redline, this is still this Sky Altar.
Well, before
has
your
not
eyelids
claimed
drop,
first
drop a
occupation
like on the
because we can tell
stream.
because the time
Appreciate
limit is
y'all.
at
Love
3
y'all.
minutes when it flips instead of
Hopefully
the
y'all are
standard 2
enjoying it.
minutes, meaning that there's 750 points up for grabs in this top Sky Altar. It looks like though S96S will be able to secure this. But as you were talking about the defense of the Sky Altar in the bottom side for Beer, the defense on the top side Sky Altar for S96S, all these marches are going to be slow to this mid rotation. So the real question is, do they rotate mid? Looks like the answer is
Nah,
no. and
they're
just
gonna go
need
for
to
the buffs.
watch this Shrine of Life in
They're
this
going for
top
buffs.
side.
So it's kind of an offset plotter, right? If the Beer on the bottom Sky Altar. I think
Already
it
did,
are
brother.
actually
Hey.
mid, which
Hey.
maybe actually looks like
Appreciate
they
you.
are. So based on that, if
They're just going for the
top
buffs.
side S96 people, they're on the offensive for the occupation. Beer might have the advantage here if they're shifting everybody to mid, and which looks like they are.
They still got
Even
2
though
minutes.
the
They'll have
lane
bigger
Sky
numbers here in a
Altar
minute.
Is not holding defensive. They're going mid, man. So I think that it's looking really good in terms of what I'm seeing right here on the map for Beer in terms of the number of players in the middle.
Beer is gonna bring
I
some
mean,
nuts
Beer
to the
definitely
middle.
having that tempo advantage with that Sky Altar attack.
Hell yeah.
And I think that really
Salted
has
or
to do
unsalted, you
with
know what I'm
the
saying?
Initial Sky
Oof.
Altar flip in the beginning because they're able to get that first tap. It delayed the Sky Altar from being captured, getting that first occupation, allowing them to re-attack it and attack it again so that it could flip again, making S96S have to send marches.
They're
out
waiting for
there.
those
And
buffs.
now,
Yeah, there you go.
S96S have a
Buffs
bunch
are
of marches in
done.
the Shrine of Life. They were able to swarm
They're
down
not
Shrine of Life.
ideally the buffs that you really want. You want the
Will
Shrine
this
of War,
cost them
but
in this mid-fight? Because this
less
is a
buffs is less
solid
buffs,
10
I guess, at this
marches,
point,
15
right?
Marches out in this top side of the map that will not be in time for mid. It does. Look
Oh, they'll
like
be there.
S96
They're just coming
is
around
taking
this
a
side.
present approach,
Die
where they're
bomb.
Trying to take structures with as
Salted
little troops as
nuts.
possible
Hell
while also
yeah.
contesting mid.
The
Meanwhile,
best.
Beer
That's
is
the best
going
beer. The
classic
best bar snack
international
ever.
route. Everyone all in mid.
Yeah, that's what it looks like here. And we just saw a little earlier, right? We have
You and
a couple
Drago
marches
were
on the
better
S96
casters.
side
Redline is
going
goated.
towards the bottom Sky Altar. So
It's
you
not
know,
about that.
are they gonna be
I
able to
love
take advantage of this? 'Cause right
Redline.
now, like you
Redline's
said,
my duo.
Beer's putting
The
everybody all in.
difficulty comes
You know,
is
so
you got to
there
know
could be-
how
there
to
definitely
like
could be something.
bounce off each
Sneak
other,
attack is
especially
used,
when you
but
use multiple.
Desert Storm used in response.
Because what happens is, right, when you're casting, they're casting and he's just casting what he sees, right? When you cast with somebody else, it needs to be a conversation and not a cast on the match, right? So it's like, hey, Redline, what skills do you think they're going to pop in this situation? Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's check it out. Like, it has to be a back and forth. If it's not a back and forth, you might as well just cast by yourself. That's the difficulty. Whoever leads has to be able to do that. So that's why with Redline, when we would cast, I would do that. And then several matches, I would tell him, hey, I want you to lead. That way he could practice that. But it takes work. You got to get familiar with each other and know what, you know, how to have a conversation and be comfortable with each other. And it's just the way it is, you know what I mean? Like, it comes with experience. I've casted almost 700 matches, so it's I have a lot of experience under my belt.
Oh, he's untouched. He's untouched.
Oh, there you go, Beer.
Like this is a
That's a
great
clean.
pull
That's
inside
a
of
great
Beer,
pull.
right? And it looks like
Clean win
like we
from
said
Beer.
earlier, right,
Ooh.
the screen's all blue. That's what I'm looking at. So I think Beer responded great with the 2 to death, and like you mentioned, that was a perfect play by them to counter what
Sounds like a
SNSX
high
did.
school assembly.
And this looks
Oh.
like an arc on the side of Beer side. Now,
Well,
but
because
looking at that,
Redline,
though, it looks like
I don't
all
know if
four
did Redline
altars
get a
are
mic
positioned
or is he
as
still using the
SNSX.
headset? The headset will do that.
Desert Altar was taken. Sky Altar was taken.
Hey,
So
you know a
two
quick fix for
munches
that?
were
Hey,
not in
Lilith,
the
send
middle
our boy
were
a mic.
successful in flipping the structures.
You know what I
The
mean?
question now is
That's
how
an easy
long
fix
can
right there.
SNSX hold on to these altars, and will it be worth the 3K points?
Attention,
that they
airline
gain
passengers.
in the
This
dark?
is your captain speaking.
Another question for you, Plato. Is Beer holding on to this?
You see what I'm saying? See?
That is
That's
a
my
good
boy
question.
right
I
there.
think they'll probably make it a 3 arc game.
You can
Hold on
ask
to it
you can
for
ask
a
Redline
little
anytime.
bit.
Like the
Stabilize
way we
the
used to
structures,
cast.
because
We would
like
practice
Osiris
and
League is
hey,
a
what
pendulum.
questions would you like
wanna
me to
make sure
ask?
that
Like
you
we would talk
capture
all the
this
time
arc
about our cast.
when you are in the upswing.
What are
so
you
that
comfortable
can have
talking about? Hey,
momentum
this is
going
what the idea
into
I
the
have.
fight.
And then he
I
would be
think
able
they'll
to
probably
like,
take back the
okay, I'm
Desert
gonna look
Altar,
at their
probably take back the
skills and I'm
Sky
gonna look
Altar,
up some stuff. That way I can
go
talk
on the
about it.
offensive,
And so then when we would bring up the questions, he already knew I was gonna ask that question. Right? So then I would tee it up for him, for him to ask a question, and then he would ask the question, and we'd go back and forth. So it's just a matter of building that rapport.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Beer decides to play, because they do have the opportunity to pull off a Chinese server tactic.
Redline definitely good. I was mainly talking about the other guy. Ah,
In this time, take back your
it happens, man. It happens.
With 15,
It's
20
okay.
marches
I can still do what I want to do, and
They have
I kind
options
of,
because
to
they
be
were able
perfectly
to
honest with you, I find it
Exactly.
hard
Right
for
now
me to
they
be
have the advantage
a face of
kind
something when I don't
dictating
play
how
it.
the match is. Like right now,
You know what I
they're-
mean?
they're
So it's like I
stabilizing,
can't
which
be
is
too
great,
mad
trying to minimize as much
about it,
damage
because if
from
I'm not
moving
even playing the
structures
game, then
and-
I don't
and
even
really
know.
kind of,
Like
you
at
know,
least Redline plays in some KVKs. I don't think he
really
really.
kind of,
I haven't really seen him
maintain
stream very
momentum.
much
So
on Rock
hopefully they
anymore,
can
but
do
he'll
that
do the
here by
KVKs.
winning that first mid
I
fight.
wouldn't even do that. So it kind of doesn't make sense for me to be
how Beer decides to play
one of the
this. They
faces
have
of Rock when I
options.
don't even play
I
Rock.
think they
You know what I
have to
mean?
commit to one or the
So
other.
it is what
does
it
look
is.
like they are aggressing on the enemy Desert Altar, though, so not stabilizing structures, but rather trading.
Redline is using
structures.
headset.
Perhaps
He's doing
indicating
another fundraising
that
event to get a
they
mic.
are looking
Bro, no
for
way.
More than just their own structures. We see the Eleanor Garrison holding on for dear life, but no reinforcements could come.
No
close.
way.
This is how dominant that mid.
Oh, bro, I have
The
Botrix
fact that
and.
there are this
All
many
right, give me
beer
a second.
marches
I need
around
to
this
pull
Desert Altar,
Botrix off.
It kind of looks like
I don't want the double pop. You're good though.
massacre with the
I
marches
appreciate
coming in
you.
one by one
Yeah, if y'all
from
want to
S96S.
hit us up on Discord, there's
This
our
is
Discord
unlike
link and the
to,
website link.
marches from mid
Let
that
me pull
have already
down
fought, but they still
the
have open field
YouTube.
control around this Desert Altar, and I do not think. I mean, reinforcements are
this
scrambling
one.
to this Desert Altar. There aren't actual 12 marches
Bulbaritos.
swarming it down, but it still goes down for Beer. So a good flip, and it looks like they are aggressive to
Botrix,
take back
great
this Desert Altar as
YouTube.
well.
That was a great flip.
Chat
And right now,
box.
based on like you said, based on the amount of marches that Beer has at that altar, and they were able to pop a rally
All right.
at the same time.
I
they
turned
can
off
hold on
Botrix,
to this for a
so
long
it
while.
should
Those marches
resolve that.
Can definitely maintain that presence
Should resolve that.
for a few
Hopefully.
minutes. Well, that's
We'll try it here in a little bit, you know what I mean?
6 marches are coming in one by one, which they should probably ball up together, trying to wipe this out.
All right, so
But right now,
Beer's
Beer has the
holding
advantage of
it
this altar specifically,
for a
and
little
have the
bit at
advantage
least.
of, scoring that arc, stabilizing, even
We
getting
got
some
about an
extra
800
points off the
point
altars they obtained.
difference right now.
They are 2 altars to 2. The points still going to S96S, but not by much, only by 90 points per minute. That is with the Sky Altar still in the hands of S96S.
Yeah, we're gonna
which
see.
should be taken
I'm gonna
back
do
from Beer.
some
I
Call
will
of Duty
say so far
casts,
in the structure game,
watch
it does
parties
look
for the
like
major
Beer has
events and
been
stuff like
ahead,
that.
except for when they went mid.
Fortnite, I'm considering doing it.
But
I
when
just
we
need
go
to figure
head-to-head
out
with
the
S96S,
logistics
I
on
feel
how to
like
do
Beer
it.
has been a lot
I know
more
I've seen people
coordinated
do watch parties,
and
but
has
I don't know
actually
if they're
been able to
like
take structures from
watching the
S96S.
person's stream or if they're
Yeah,
in
I agree.
game or
Right
what they're
now, it's
doing.
like,
So
again,
we'll
it-
see.
It's like scrambling. I think S96.
And then we're gonna
could
have at
done
least
a lot
one
more
stream
damage
with the
on
AOE,
the
with
structures,
Age of
you know,
Empires
right out the
Mobile,
gate, but I feel like
to see it out,
with
test
that
it out, see if
mid-fight,
we
like,
like it.
Beer just had too many
And we'll
standing
see.
marches from
I
that
definitely don't
fight
want another
where they
pay-to-win
were able to
game,
kind of flex
but
and then,
I enjoy
kind of
playing
focus
these
on
kinds of
getting the
games,
structures
so
back
we'll
and
see.
taking their, S96
We'll see.
structure.
I don't
So
know.
I feel like Beer won this overall. From this first arc fight, because usually when you lose the
93
first arc
lost?
fight, you-
Did they
you focus
lose?
up on structures,
Oh,
and it kind of
today?
minimizes
I don't
the
think they
amount of
played
points
today. They played
get
yesterday
from
and they
scoring
lost.
arc.
Yeah.
I feel like right now Beer just is really taking advantage.
They
of
lost
that.
to 466S,
I mean,
who were
Desert
the,
Altar,
I believe the
Desert
Chinese
Altar
server
of
champions this year.
S96S, the home
They've
Desert
been
Altar,
winning
will get taken
nonstop.
back as
Which say,
that
what?
middle
What?
Murderbot
Yeah,
has
exactly.
finally been.
It was really good.
flat-paced,
It was a good
but
match.
Beer will trade the Desert Altar for their home Sky Altar. So honestly, it is a pretty.
Yeah, that was the one I
even
watched
handshake trade from both
yesterday
teams.
on the
And
main
now
channel, and I
all
was
the
kind of like,
structures
bro,
are
I wish I
moving.
would have
Beer
watched it.
is down by about
I wish I would have
2K
watched it.
points, But they have.
I'm hoping that they'll bring more rotations in for
the
Osiris League, and then
So
y'all can get
overall,
y'all's
being up by
y'all's
about 1K in true score.
y'all's
And they
scratch
scored
the
yards,
itch
yeah,
for
they
the
scored
rock
3 yards
content
in
that
the
some of y'all
bottom.
want.
It's gonna
I
come
appreciate
down to
those of
the
y'all who
outcome.
come for the other
That's
content
what I'm
because
saying,
that's
like,
ultimately
because
what I
it
really
actually
really
come down to
enjoy. I
provisions,
enjoy
what I'm calling it
casting
right
and
now.
doing stuff,
Come down to
but
provisions here.
we'll
Beer
see.
did capture the air. Okay, so it's Beer that's up by 2K. Yeah, so they are up by 2K with the overall play here. They do have a couple provisioners out there too. They have 1, 2, 3 provisioners.
So they both popped to the death.
compared
Sneaky
to
tactics
1, 2,
is
3, 4, 5,
used.
6, 7, 8 provisioners coming up from S96S. So I believe both.
I don't know. I think if Beer wins this next arc, it's
top
GG's.
teams that are still in the upper bracket and saw that they pretty much won solely off provisions and holding their own structures while contesting mid. S96S definitely over-indexing or indexing more compared to Beer in that gathering. We'll have to see if that'll pay off or if that will actually hinder them for this next mid fight, which will be happening in about 7 minutes here.
And kind of talking about the provisioning, so last match, Beer scored about 3K worth of provisions, and then S96
See?
did about 2K. So I really think they were going to be
So-
focusing on that.
so
because
those are the little things
like, it was all
that
decided by
make you a better
provisions.
caster, right?
Because at the end
Other
of the day,
casters outside of Redline that I've seen on some of these matches don't provide any context. That's the kind of stuff that I was instilling in Red when we would cast. Right, like you got to bring something outside of what you see on the screen,
I mean, this
because
game is
that
still in
ultimately
anyone's
brings
hands.
credibility to what
Beer
you're
looks like they
saying,
have
right?
pretty
Because
decent
hey, I went and
coverage,
watched the
though,
last
being up by about
4
2K
matches from
points.
Beer
They
and
have
notice
been
that
able to put
they do
structures
this,
compared to
and this,
S96S,
right? Let's pay
where
attention to
they've
see if
been
they do it
able to
again.
just hold
Or
their own
just
structures
from
for
last match,
S96S's
they
structures,
did
so
this
that
and
can be
this.
shown
Or
on
their best
completion,
provisioner
even
is this
though they
person.
gave
Just
up
being able to name
4
them
altars at one point,
and
they're
bring
only down
additional
by
value to
1K
production
occupations.
is what
That's
separates
because
good
when they go
casters from
straight
great
up, they've been
casters.
able to hold on against
'Cause see,
S96S's
right now, right,
assault. It'll really
if
come
it-
down to
they're just
the-
saying what's
the
on the
provisions,
screen.
but also the second
That's
mid fight.
like
I'm
if
gonna
somebody
be
gives
curious
you a
to see
presentation
how
and just
much
reads off the
S96S
presentation, nobody pays
goes
attention.
into the second mid fight,
Right?
and
They'll
if
have you.
Beer
They can have
decides
you
to
on
as
mute
well,
and
Beer
still
kinda
understand what
has
you would be
that
saying because you're not
flexibility
providing anything
where they can
additional.
decide to go structures if they want to.
Exactly. But I
So
really think
that's the
Beer is
difference. That's
also
how
gonna
when
try
I
to
was
go for
when I
every
was working with
single
Red,
arc
that's
here.
what we would work on,
Because
right?
that
Bring
mid-fight here,
something
they
that
dominated
somebody
that
who's
mid-fight,
watching,
so why not
if they had you on
continue that?
mute, they would miss.
And then as you can see, it looks like S96 is starting to have people going to mid.
Outside
so
of the personalities and
we'll
stuff
probably
like
see a
that.
next minute or so.
This is the earliest mid rotation I've seen from a Chinese server team. Redline, usually the Chinese server teams, they keep fighting and aggressive
Well, a
on
rotation
structures
of
until
4 marches,
maybe 3 minutes,
GG's.
2 minutes, and
You know what I'm
then start
saying?
rotating mid. We've seen
So it is what it
murder
is.
balls
Like
gather up
those
as
are
the
little
arc
things that
spawns. So
most
pretty
likely they'll
early
get better on.
rotation
I don't know,
from S96S.
but that's
The
where
real
you
question
increase
is,
the
will that
production
pay off
value.
for them? Will they be able to get
Like
control
I
of
watched
this mid
literally I
area
had a
because of
Pokemon
that?
Go Championship stream on
And will they
yesterday,
be able to
and
hold
they
their
are
structures
breaking
while
down.
people rotating mid? It
I'm
looks like the
talking
answer is
like
no,
it's not
because
like,
Desert
oh
Storm
look,
just
that's a
fell.
Squirtle. It's like
Yeah, exactly. That's my concern.
this
here, too,
Pokemon
right?
does
Every time
this,
you send
this
people to the
debuff,
middle,
this buff,
right, you lose those marches
counters
defending,
with these
your
specific
structures, right? And it looks
Pokemon,
like the
does this, and
timing, I feel like
they
it's
bring a
really off on
production
S96
value to
because
it that you
while
can't
those
just
marches are going mid,
say what's on the
Beer
screen, which
was
is
going
great.
heavy on these structures, right? If you look on the map here,
So like for instance,
on the
right
top
now,
side, both
right?
structures are
If
breaking.
I've known Beer, right?
Did Beer catch the right time?
Traditionally,
Because right
Beer
now,
comes
S96
towards
marches,
middle
they're standing
at
there
about
for them.
3.5
They're
minutes,
just standing there,
right?
So like,
Consistently.
I don't know if that was the right
So
play.
if they came in at 5
I mean, they
minutes, you
definitely
know
have
that
to fight
deviates
with
from
this
the
arc,
norm, so you would bring
at
that
what
up.
cost? In terms of timing and shifting your guys to the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it is looking.
Yeah, I missed it. Yeah, they're doing. I think
rough,
it's
right?
day
Because
2 today,
usually
Prince.
You want to play a defensive style if you're going.
I wish I could watch party that. I may actually reach out. I may
6,
see.
7, 8 provisioners out there in the
It was
open
fun. It
field
was
compared
interesting.
to
It was very
Beer.
lively. Like it had some juice to it, which is exciting.
If you
Like
had that many
there were some
provisioners,
young
you should try
kids,
to play
medium kids,
defensive
old
here.
guys. Like
Meanwhile, they
it,
are
Pokemon
going
just
early
spanned
rotation.
everywhere, and it was so
Now
good.
Beer starting after Beer flipped the
Very
Desert
good
Altar, now
production.
they're
Had
starting to
graphics
rotate
flying
middle.
through,
They actually
and
have more marches
it was
middle
fun.
than S96S. S96S had to
You have to
respond
be
to
good to
Desert Altar
cast. You have to be natural, and you can't make that up on the spot. Yeah. Well, I think research. I think research is valuable, and that's what's missing from their casts.
Been the name of the game.
Right. I want.
They've been able to find
when you listen to this and then tell me what they're bringing outside of what's on the screen.
Flipping the structure. Shrine of War was also flipped as well. So now all the sad face marches that was attacking the Desert Altar, attacking the Sky Altar, attacking the Shrine of War are rotating middle, and they actually have the tempo advantage for this middle rotation.
See what I mean?
Even though S96S
Literally, you could have zoomed out on the map, and I could have noticed all that. So it's no difference. That's the value that you need to bring.
Insane amount of presence in the middle. If you look at
At least at a minimum, you should tell me them taking down the Shrine of Life is going to take down these buffs. You know what I mean? They're going to lose these buffs, this points per minute. Like, you want to bring that value.
Split teams, like, hey, this X amount of people are fighting the mid, and everybody else goes structures. Like, I'm just really curious of what their play is here.
Yeah, this is perhaps seeing that they're behind in tempo. They're like, okay, let's trade this middle pressure and let's try to go for these altars. But we saw what happened in that first arc fight, that first middle fight.
So Beer got the first arc, and now they are up by 1,800.
They're still down by about 2K.
I sent my account manager to talk to a school, and he was good, but he read from the paper. I mean, he hit the points. He talked, sure. He did it, but it felt forced. He was uncomfortable, etc. Okay, so the reason he was uncomfortable was because of the paper, right? So the bullet points should have been, especially during public speaking, need to be like high level, and then you're knowledgeable about that high level. So like if I have a note card for me, I put the 5 bullet points that I need to hit, and that is it. It's my responsibility to touch on each one of those bullet points in a facet with my knowledge. So I think that's the no, it's going down, brother.
Will they have enough reinforcements for this Sky Altar?
It's going down.
That micromanaging, shifting your marches in and out, like that level is great to see. Kudos to Beard for holding that in. S96 is going hard.
Panel of 6 people, board members. Yeah, that's what I always say. I always feel like it's like with creative stuff, right? If you provide like, I really want this Nike logo, right? As a creative, it dulls down your creativity because you already know what they want, but you can't remake it without it looking like a copy. So that's why, like, for me, when I work on creative stuff, I always tell, I work with the creator, or when I do it, I like, oh, I love these colors, right? It's very broad. Right, I love that this logo has this specific element on it, or stuff like that. So it doesn't stunt somebody's creativity. It just leads them in a direction like, don't show me pink when I want blue, kind of deal. It's the same thing with presentation.
Finally gone down.
It's the same thing with presenting. Bullet points, keep it concise, but it doesn't stunt what you're gonna say.
They were thwarted. The arc has spawned, but there was barely any.
Yeah, I told him to just memorize it and go with the flow, read the room, touch the points. It's different. Yeah, I think the other thing is have something that's engaging. You know what I mean? Like, listen right now, and when you listen to the cast, tell me what's exciting about it outside of them lifting their voice.
So it looks like S96 focused on full structures there. They need to capitalize. Okay. They're locked down 2 arcs now.
Yeah, people want natural.
Hold these and really make it a difference. And so far, what I'm saying, they're doing that, because there's only one building left, one altar left on the side of Beer.
You can see the Sky Altar is starting to be taken back. People are asking.
That's why I watch you. Yeah, and that's the difference, right? You got to bring some value. Got to bring a little value.
Looks like.
I can yell too, but I'm gonna yell like exciting stuff that's like, oh my god, that's a 4,000 point arc that you just gave up. It's gonna take these structures. You're gonna have to hold all 4 altars to take over X amount of points per minute, and then so on and so forth. The reality is with that is when you go full structure like that, probably 90% of the teams can't hold this. So it doesn't make a difference because you got to hold it for 2 minutes in order for it to start being beneficial. And most teams just can't do that.
Are flipping too fast to make it worth it for them.
Yeah, that's the problem because the looks like on the side of beer, their marches were barely touched, right?
That's
they're,
why.
they're still coming
Hashtag no
coming
homo.
hot with full marches, so they had the chance to kind of stabilize and then minimize the amount of loss they have because they're about to score this next arc, and they're going to see a nice cushion before the next one.
I will say there are 6 marches from S96S around the
Like the watch party for
I
Fortnite
don't
when
think they'll be able to steal
Texas
it, but
team
it is
won.
not
Oh yeah.
completely
See, I
clean
really want to. I really want to
yet.
do stuff like that.
But the beer was able to retake their.
You know what I
altars,
mean?
which is
So
absolutely
example
huge.
like that is
They
like
are
Fortnite,
now
right?
approaching the Shrine
The
of
way
Light.
they're
So
casting,
there's
or
some
some of the
retake the
casters
structures
cast
that
and
were
rock
taken
is
by
like
S96S.
the man has a gun. He's
S96S
shooting,
actually
shooting, shooting,
resetting the
shooting,
timer
shooting.
on
He's
the
climbing up a
start.
building.
I
He
don't
just
think
jumped
that'll
off
matter
into a
too
car
much.
and is now driving. And it's like,
No.
okay, cool. Like
Looks like beer is able to take back
instead
this
of
arc.
like,
They
oh,
will
this
be
is a
able to
pump
take it
action
back
shotgun.
to
If he gets a
their
headshot,
outwards.
it's
And
gonna
now
be
this
for
will be a repeat of the first
145,
arc. This is
and then he
deja
can
vu, Red Line,
instantly switch to a
where
secondary and take him down with 2
S96
shots.
went
Like
buildings,
it's little
beer
stuff like that.
went
That's
mid,
situational
beer
breakdown.
cleared,
Instead
got a
of
free
focusing
mid-fight,
on
and
climbing
now
up the
Wings
structure,
Mid-Fight
you're
are
focusing on
running rampant
what
throughout the map.
potential
Having
weapon
blue
combos
altars
he's going to
to
use,
the
or
one of
is he going to wall
S96S.
build with certain
Yeah,
things.
I
Like,
mean,
you break
mentioned,
down
if
what
they were
people
to
can't
lose
see.
those arcs.
You
they
yelled,
have to
yeah,
make
dude.
up
I
those
love
points
yelling
when
during
they
the
do
cast, brother.
occupation,
I
and
love
I feel
it.
like they were successful in kind of like flipping them, but like maintaining them is just not there. So
I
like,
love
feel like
yelling.
they're it's like a hole that makes sense. Like they're not.
My wife
filling
hated
enough.
it because it was like 7 a.m., but it's all right. She loves me. I think.
Lowered the points
I
per
know.
minute of beer
Kind
to
of.
40 points per minute
Yes,
to
she does.
550. But the Desert Altar will start generating
Bro,
points. The Sky Altar has
if they
just
cast
started
like that,
generating
I will
points.
drive to the
They will
studio
be able to
and beat
stabilize the
him
structures pretty
with the
fast here,
producer's
and with
iPhone.
3.5K
Exactly.
in the bank, Beer should be in a pretty comfortable position
Beer.
with where they're at. S96S, though, perhaps they're saying, okay, let's flip these structures. We
Wow, they
believe enough
insta-capped
provisioners
that.
to come clutch. They have
Interesting.
1,
Or did they
2,
drop it?
3,
Oh,
4,
no, it's
5,
over
6,
8
7,
minutes.
8, 9 provisioners out in the open field compared to the 3 from Beer. So perhaps they're saying, let's just lower the amount of points
Oh, never mind.
as possible. But Beer, seeing that, did capture the arc. So there will be a pretty fast third arc and perhaps even a fourth arc here, Redline.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. There could be a fourth arc. But looking at the map too, right? Like the outpost, I know they only generate 30 points per minute, right? But S96 has been like literally flipping those things back and forth all match. I feel like
I
it's just,
heard. So what I
those
heard,
little things, like, literally,
I
they're
heard
now, what,
that Call of
90
Duty
points inside
mobile
of S96.
events are lit.
But
I'm
all those little
considering
points
like
matter,
checking
so
it
they're
out.
definitely heavily focusing on the structure.
Like doing a watch party on Call of Duty Mobile. Some people were telling me that it's actually pretty lit. And I was like, bro, can you imagine those old school maps and like, I don't know, like seeing raid and doing all like, I don't know. I might have to check it out.
Provisioners out there. They decided to pull the plug
Beer's
and
doing the
pull
Oktoberfest?
trigger
Yeah, on their
capturing
face.
the
Yeah,
arc,
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
Hey, if they don't want to go mid, we'll just have more mid fights.
So I'm considering
We'll
just
have
checking
more
out different
arcs.
things and
Beer, I feel
doing
like
watch
capturing the
parties
arc
and
was absolutely
stuff.
huge for them because
I know they just had their Call of Duty Mobile Champs event like a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. So we'll see when their next season fires up, and then maybe we'll check it out.
Gathering rather. Beer saying, okay, well, we're just gonna add more points to the game by forcing a fourth arc.
Yeah, like, and looking at the occupation score of both teams, right? There's a slight gap, all right, between Beer and S96, but just by like 3K points, so it's not enough to offset the arcs, right? So like, Beer knows where to focus on, which is, hey, they're not gonna been doing well in the mid. We're gonna keep doing mid and
See,
get 4 arcs.
the interesting
Because
point
if they keep
that
maintaining
I
that
can't see because
occupation
they're not
score
zooming
against
far enough
S96, they're
is if
quite good.
S96S is provisioning.
Meta, it's kind of a rock paper scissors, right? Where some people want to go arc focused. What other teams would do to counter it would be to the death first arc, try to delay it as much as possible.
Why?
And then win off provisions. The
Why?
counter to that provision. hold
See,
your
that's
own
the
structures
part they keep
game
missing.
is
Why?
win mid fights and just capture
Why
the
is
arc
it
as fast as
beneficial to use to
possible.
the death in the
This is
first
what Beer
arc?
is doing right now. S96S
And by
wants to
doing
just
so,
make
what
a
does that
provisioner game,
affect in the
make
second
the
arc?
structures even. Beer saying, we're not
Right.
going to allow that. We're not gonna
That's the
allow you to
part.
play in
Like,
comfort.
just
We're
pretend
gonna
like you're
force you to
casting
fight
to a
over
5-year-old,
and over.
right? When they say why,
I will
why,
say,
and
though,
then
the
answer
map
that
say
in your
looking
cast every single
As
time.
you said, it's looking pretty even, but those outposts rather do matter. having through the 3 outposts of your opponents is actually worth more than 1 shrine. 90 points per minute compared to the 80.
There you go. See that he needs to do that consistently the whole game,
down to the wire.
because he doesn't do that.
Will come down to perhaps like 1k points, which
And then your cast will start cooking
throughout the match.
Yeah, it's little by little like that, Potter. Like, you know, every point matters, and I feel like S96 is doing everything they can to keep it that close, to possibly have provisioners in. And as you're saying that now, they're doing another early mid rotation. Now the question is, are they going to go all in, or are they going to focus heavily on structures again?
This is the risk of capturing the arc early, is if you don't win the 3rd arc, which you pretty much forced upon yourself to come at this time, you're going to be in a really, really bad position. This arc is worth 4k. They're only up by 2.2, so they'll be down by 1.8k with S96S having more provisions, but they gambled on themselves. They gambled on their mid fights.
Well, they have to, because they're not provisioning. See, and that's the reason why they have to do more arcs. It's not because they pressured. It's because they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to negate the provisions that are gonna bring in, so they need more arcs. And there hasn't been evidence that S96 is gonna beat them in mid.
To see what's Beer gonna do about that. They need to get those back.
It's not even only 90 points per minute. It's 90 points per minute. When you flip it, you take it away from your opponents. When you hold it, you gain for yourself. So it's actually 180 points per minute that is being given to S96S, which, I mean, if you look at how close this game is, pretty much the only difference in occupation are those outposts. Actually, that is the only difference. All the shrines, all the altars, all the obelisks are in the hands of
4
their
arcs.
home
They could do a
owners.
4 arc. They would have to capture this one.
This mid-fight,
What is this? 3 minutes left. That would put us at what, 19?
if they don't win this
19. Run it back, and then cap. Yeah, they could have another one if they instantly capped it. It'll take with the fast march. Not dropping takes about a minute 30 at the fastest. If they're using skills, if they're not using skills, probably like 135, 140 to run it back uncontested. And then you have your 8-minute countdown, so they would have like 10 minutes left if they had that. But I still think they could have a 4th arc if they just insta cap this. They insta cap and go for a 4th arc. There's enough time for it. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. If they hold this 2k lead and cap the next arc, GG's to their audio. I guess they both died. They both died on the cast. They are no longer casting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'll have to cast since they're not there. Don't know what the hell we're looking at here. We got 2 minutes before the middle arc comes, worth 4,000 points. Look at it. Did they pop a skill too soon? I don't know. But their audio went out, so we'll have to talk about what's going on now. So minute 45. Based on how fast the arc was capped, I would predict probably both of these teams have 2 to 3. There you go. 2 to 3 skill points apiece. So there won't be very many skills popped in this one.
With what, a minute and a half left, like there's no point in them going
production.
mid. Like, those last guys
Can I get an A, man? Take the
there's
lead,
2 hours
Bulba.
left in the focus. So I really think that they just they stick to that lane and then let their teammates handle
Bog down a minute. Desert Storm.
We have double bog down, sneaky tactics, and Desert Storm used.
I like that.
Interesting.
Should
So
be a
Sneaky
beer
Tactics
win.
was used mid. Desert Storm. I don't know if it takes away the extra attack that Sneaky Tactics provides.
I don't think so.
I don't think it does. I think it takes away the shroud. So it isn't really the best in terms of an offensive skill, but it does seem like the sad faces are streaming out from S96S here.
Oh man.
I mean, we can look at the dot mode here, and yeah, you can see it's primarily blue, primarily beer, primarily the international servers taking control of this mid fight. international servers have some hope in this Grand Prix. In a win-or-go-home scenario, this arc being a win-or-go-home arc, it looks like Beer have control, but it is not out of the woods yet. They have to
Bobo
escalate
was
back
Jesus
home.
and took the wheel
Let's see
there for
how
a
much
moment.
they
Yeah,
put
I got
into
excited
defending
there,
this
Prince. I
arc
got like a
as
little
this
excited.
final
I'm not gonna lie.
35 seconds here.
Got a little excited
Man,
there.
now the question is like,
Nah. Well, I asked you in the beginning if y'all prefer their volume off.
19 minutes left. I mean, based on the
Usually
pool
when
right
I
here,
do
the
watch
picture
parties,
scores,
I
no
leave the
matter
volume
who's
on
playing.
and
I'll
I
usually
kind of
see
just
fourth arc.
comment over a
And
cast.
if I was Beer,
that they're
I would do the
doing.
fourth arc.
That
So
is
it's not
pretty
my
interesting.
job to kind of like
The thing
provide
that's
the
rough for
cast. It's
SNCS
more like we're just
is
chilling, hanging out,
in the 2 arcs, at least they
and
went
just
building,
chatting
at least
about
they
the
were the full
match and
things.
stuff.
They went full structures red line. I mean, they went full mid red line, and they weren't able to get anything out of it. The map is in an even state. They're able to
Beer
flip
has
grab
the mid,
Sky
yeah.
Altar. They're able
Well,
to
the
flip
skill
Shine of
usage I
Light,
told you
but
was bad.
Beer was able to take them back while also.
I don't know why you
winning
do
this
sneaky
mid fight.
tactics like that. It just doesn't make
They
sense
are
to me.
banking on provisions. S96S are banking on provisions, hoping, praying that this could make up for
See,
the
the
5K
ideal
difference
situation
in
that I would
points.
see sneaky tactics being
Because they are
beneficial
down by
is if you
1.7
have
with
your marches
about
go mid,
4K in this arc,
right?
So that's gonna be
You use sneaky tactics on some marches,
5.7K
and
down
then
with
send the rally
a
towards
third
the
arc capture.
Shrine of War,
That's gonna be
and then you
pretty
have
hard
your
to come
sneaky
back with
tactics
provisions,
going to take
but
the
I
structure
think
down.
S96S are just hoping
And
that
then
they
once it
have
goes down, then you
provision
flood through
advantage in
mid.
that case.
And then the
So yeah,
marches that
there's
were hitting the
100
structure
points
rotate towards the
compared
mid.
to 738. We have
I don't
seen
like
some
the
Chinese
idea
server
of
teams
they literally people using
go
sneaky
up to
tactics
6K
just to sit
provision,
in mid and do
7K
nothing.
score.
It just doesn't.
I
That's
wouldn't-
what I was going to ask you.
Doesn't
Mono.
make-
That's what
doesn't
I was
make
gonna ask
sense.
you. Like the last match I watched, it went up from like
I don't even know,
don't
Prince.
0 to like 5K at the end of the match. So like, what's the highest that we've seen so far in terms of provisions? Because from my understanding, there's most teams
Based
have
on-
a set amount of players who are going.
based on the
hopping
two
characters,
trains
They're hopping
going-
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
finally
seem like-
turning at the end,
exactly.
like, just to save amount of time and be more efficient. Like, can
That's
we see
sneaky.
up with 7K provision score?
So it's just little stuff like that, man. Like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
I like if you're gonna concede, like don't get me wrong, if you're gonna concede mid for arc, right? Like for example, when we watched HJK, if you're gonna use sneaky tactics, I would have preferred them to go to an obelisk and swarm an obelisk and give up.
I'm so curious as
You know
to
what I
how
mean?
Blue play this out
I don't know.
because they do have arc. They are bringing it to the obelisk,
They're up by 2K.
but there is a world where S96S can come back from provisions. We've seen 14.
Bro, if it was me,
provisions out
just
and
cap it
about
again.
from S96S.
There has been zero
They can
evidence,
potentially go up to
zero
6K in this
evidence
game.
that they are gonna beat
As
you in mid.
ridiculous as that sounds,
Zero.
Redline, this is actually going to be a nail biter, despite Beer winning 3 arcs.
I think Beardy needs to get a 4th arc in there because again, like you said, there's 14 marches that are gathering on the side of S96, right? That's 14 marches not in the middle. I think you go hard, secure the game by getting a 4th arc. That's what I think that Beard needs to do.
That is a hard call to make. And their leadership must be sweating because, you know, if this was international server, if this was Osiris League, we'd be like, all right, you know, they probably win this game. GG's. They're up by 6K. But
Anything can happen, Mono.
anything could happen with the gatherers out there.
For 4th arc,
We're
yeah.
gonna have to
They
keep
literally
on
park there. If he
and
caps it,
see
there's 8
how
minutes.
Beer responds. I think
Right? There's
they're
an 8
pretty
minute
confident
countdown, and they
in
have
their
8 minutes to capture a
6K
4th arc.
lead that they have
There's
right
plenty
now,
of time.
5.8K lead that they
The
have
arc
right now.
runner is already
So
there.
again,
Once he
as long as
caps
hold
it, it's an
structures, as
8
long
minute
as you hold
timer
this arc,
with 16 minutes. They would have 8 minutes to
should
cap.
have the advantage in this game. They do not.
Oh, they still have time.
I mean, if they were to capture the arc, right? They probably would have captured it by now. So I think they're saying that we believe in our point lead that we have. We believe in our ability to hold structures, and we're just gonna hold down and we don't think S96S can out provision the lead that we have.
And as
So
we
that would have
say
been the
that-
perfect situation to be
as
like,
we say that right
because
now, map
the
is going
last
back
3
and forth,
matches,
and I have a feeling that they're
S96S
gonna
hasn't
start
provisioned more than
very
5,000
soon
points.
to get a 4th one.
See, and that's the
I feel
context
like
that's
it's gonna
missing
happen soon, Plano.
that I
It's gonna
want.
happen soon. You have to. You have to.
I haven't invested enough into the Grand Prix
know they're
to
confident in,
to
like,
provide
their
that, so
scoring
that's why I
and their
don't. But
defending,
that's
Yeah,
what should
this
be
is a win or
provided.
Go home, and I feel like you focus on your strengths, and mid is their strength, and I think they're gonna turn it in and go for the 4th one.
Yeah, I
Is it-
mean, they still
Not if
have
they don't
time.
cap it.
If they capture this arc, there will be 7 minutes left in the game. There you go. They did capture the arc.
There
Okay,
you
so
go.
there will be
Yeah.
a fourth arc.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, Mono. Here it is.
There
Hand
will
the
be a fourth
international
arc.
server. Take it or go home.
This
Would
is-
the-
this
I wonder
fourth
if this
arc
is the
will
first
mean everything,
international
because if
team
Beer secure this
to
fourth
get
arc,
eliminated.
even with provisions, I do not think S96S could come back. I don't think they could come back by a 4.5k arc on top of a 6k point lead.
Research.
But
Yep.
if S96S somehow pull out, say, hey, you know what? We're trolling mid all 3 mid fights, and we're actually good at mid, win that fourth arc, it'd be heartbreaking for Beer. So we'll have to see how both teams respond here. Perhaps S96S see that there's going to be a fourth arc, pull back the gatherers early, and, you know, starts going full mid, because this mid fight will mean
The
everything.
provisioners aren't going to make a difference for the amount of marches that we're getting trashed in the middle.
It's like the last.
It wasn't
13,
even close.
14
They're
minutes
getting
of
their
it, right? Like now,
they're getting
the call has to be made.
their dick
And it
stomped in the
looks
dirt. Like it's not
S96 is
even
not
it's
pulling
not
them,
even
but I
close.
think they should be doing it by now.
If it was like a back and forth, like
Beer
oh
is
it
going
came
hard
down
on
to
the
10
stretch.
marches,
They're gonna
okay,
try to
cool, do it.
separate the lead as
You're
much as
losing like
possible.
50 to 1 in
And
the
if
middle.
you
Like
finish here,
it's
you're
not
gonna go to
even
mid.
that's
Beer has to take
that's
full
a
advantage now.
composition
It's their
issue.
game
That's
to
not a
lose.
March number
They have the
issue.
range, they have the keys, they made the decision to capture the
I
arc.
will say this: the
you
teams
have
that
to
have lost
believe that
mid
the
today
decision
have
of
prioritized
capturing that
Scipio
arc
over
comes
Herman.
with the decision
Just
to fight
just an
to the death
observation
for
that I'll
fourth
say.
arc. Fight to
The teams
death
that are
for
losing mid
control of the
today are
game.
losing because they're using Scipio in middle and not Herman.
S96S, even though they've been in the back foot, that provisioner, that those provisions over looming, always being in the back pocket, always being a question mark for Beer, not knowing how many provisioners they have and not knowing how many provisioner points they have, making it so that this game, even though it should be over by a 5k point differential, is still intriguing for both teams.
Yeah, I'm biting my nails right now. Plotters looking at this. Like this is this is what we're here to see. We're here to see this level of competition, and in the next 6 minutes is going to
See, observing and casting.
S96.
The next call, the next fights. By the way, this is a huge flip from Beer. The Sky
Jesus
Altar
Christ, there are
flipping
blue marches and
for
red marches
Beer.
on the field,
Absolutely huge. And
attacking
this is how
this
they've been able to
vertical
get
structure
this occupation
on this
advantage,
sandy
or not
map.
Occupation advantage, but you know, even though they've been winning these mid fights, they've been able
Let's
to flip
zoom
the structures
out
to the point where
and
it's
see
not worth it
the red
for
and blue
S96S
structures. It's all coming
go
down to
structures,
this, ladies and
because we've been
gentlemen.
able to have
The fourth
S96S
arc.
numbers on
Will
the
Santa
straight up
Claus come out?
mid on the straight up lane fights when Beer does not go middle.
Yeah, the struggle that I'm seeing Plotter right now is what
Facts, not many Herman on the field,
Beer has about,
and I saw many
10.5K worth of,
Scipios. Yep.
arc points, right? And then you look at the
Just go
occupation
rewatch.
score,
Go
it's
rewatch the
only 4K difference.
Yeah.
Not
That is with Beer sacking the structures for the first
Go
and
look at
second
the
arc.
93T and the
with
466 match, and then tell me what you
S96S
noticed about the mid game
structure
fights on that one.
focus. When they go head to head, Beer's been able to flip the structures.
Even the
more
match
so
we
than
just
S96S,
went
I
over,
feel.
right?
We
It was the
saw
same thing in
Beer
mid.
hold on to that Sky Altar before that third arc fight or that second arc fight for so long.
The Scipio isn't the way to go.
That's been the name of the game. Beer structures have been more stable than S96S when they decide to defend them.
You got your Jones, your Hermans. You know, you're bringing those in, and that's the composition is what's making the difference.
To capture these structures. Even the Sky Altar, which was just captured, has a garrison in there. It's not a free capture by any means.
Somebody center this
Now,
building on the
4
screen,
minutes to go,
please.
they're trying to recapture the Sky Altar. Beer's already centered
Are
right in
they?
the middle.
Oh my God!
S96 needs to do the same. And if they are provisioning the way we think they are, Plotter,
They
this
need to
has
capture
happen.
these buildings.
And this is their 11 minutes left. It's going to determine their fate in the tournament. They have to go mid.
Yeah, they have to somehow steal this arc because we've seen Beer mid-fight after mid-fight after mid-fight be so dominant.
Bro, stop zooming in and out,
Now
homie.
that
Just
there's
either
a
zoom
fourth
all the way
mid-fight,
in or don't zoom in. Fuck.
S96S turn on the skill switch. You have to
Let's
look at
check
their
out the
skills, by
marches.
way.
Click on some
They're
marches.
used to
Look at the
death.
composition.
They
What are they
have
bringing?
some
Like,
tactics
bro, there's
locked
so
down.
many.
They have total vision.
There's so
They
much
have
missed
dust up.
opportunity
I'm
here.
gonna be curious as
Just
to
click
what
on the
skills they
marches
choose to
instead of
use.
just staring at
Meanwhile, we look
shadow.
At the other side of things here, there is an extra skill from Beer that has not been revealed. It's crazy how Beer's been able to win mid fights when they have Dust Up, Desert Storm, and Bogdown. That's their mid skills. That's what they've been showing so far.
And they can't use shit because they don't have skill bar. So it makes no difference. We don't need to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Last skill from
You can have all those skills, but they don't have a skill bar. So guess what? There's going to be a 1 skill pop, 2 skill maybe. If they're both low, it doesn't make a difference.
For some sneaky play.
That's the issue when you pop so many arcs.
That's be the main question.
Your skill bar isn't gonna, and they haven't been using energetic, so
you could see the funnel coming in from both teams, just going all in mid.
oh my
But
god.
we're talking about how S96S have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 gathers, 12 gathers still out there. They're gonna be about 8 marches down because Beer only have 3.
Yeah, that's the problem. And again, these provisioners better bring in like 20,000 points. Blah, I'm kidding. Maybe 6 or 7, because X96 needs this arc, and those provisioners need to bring it home. So,
Well, we're putting the
only way I
head
see
down
it,
like
is
he
that
just
they
got a
either
1
win
piece
the
cold
latest
chicken
arc
and no
or
sides.
cap it. Like, that's the
Brother,
only thing
you
can do.
read my
You have 8
mind.
minutes to
It's
do it.
it's like being the fat cat, you know, the one that's heavy breathing, like, and then realizing they gave you a salad. Bruh.
Whoever wins this game has
If the chicken ain't greasier than my forehead, I don't want it.
You
know what I'm saying?
It would be a rematch for Beer. International server versus international server, or S96S would be able to prove
guys.
that, hey, we still have more
Prince,
to tank.
did you ever see Evil? Did y'all ever see the
How the mid-fights have been going,
there was
I
a
feel like they
news
should be
report,
rated.
right?
What do you think?
Have
about
you
that?
heard of a
They have a
cat
sniper
called
They have a
Thicken
sniper in the mid
Nugget?
right now, so, like, he's taking
Literally.
pop shots, you know, pew, pew,
Just
pew.
search, just
No,
Google,
honestly,
just
Beer has been
YouTube
doing
Thicken
great. You know,
Nugget.
they've been consistent, you know,
Bro,
3
it
arcs in
was
a
a
row.
cat that
And
became
I feel like
famous
they have this in the
because they
bag,
took
and
him for
whatever
water
they're doing is working.
aerobics so that he could lose weight.
But, again,
And he was on the
S96
news.
has something in the bag
Bro, Thicken Nugget,
to
bro. I
showcase,
could
you know
not
what,
believe
we
it.
can make
I
to
was
the next
dying
round
of
in the
laughter.
lower bracket.
So funny.
We're gonna see here very shortly.
So
will
fucking
say
funny.
This siege tower is putting in the work. So the mark that I was hitting is already yellow. Like, this siege tower actually poking down the marches.
Is it?
Absolutely putting in some work here. S96S
Wow.
actually having to push back the murder ball because of the siege tower. 40 seconds left until arc spawns. Beer have positioning advantage. We start to see the skills get popped. Dust up used by S96S.
Why?
Beer still holding strong. Beer still holding steady. Tower has been moved up, and because of that, S96S going into this murder ball. Bog down used by S96S. What will Beer use? They use Bog down in response. We'll see the Venn diagram of death. Beer using total
There it
vision.
is. GG's.
So it is Bog down total vision versus Bog down dust up. 6 points to 8 points.
See, they should have done total vision, dust up, GG's, and bog. Those are the three. When people ask how to counter to the death,
secures rather this game.
the matches that teams have lost, good mid teams. I'm not talking trash one. Good mid teams. When they pop to the death, their counter is total vision, dust up, and bog down, and then it obliterates.
With a pull, how far can they pull it off?
Oh my god.
It
Oh
looks
did.
like they weren't able to pull it
He
too
did.
far. And it looks like it won't matter. Beer smashing this mid.
Homie grabbed the arc and instantly ran into the bog down.
To get the pull S96S to perhaps prolong the mid.
They used the Venn diagram, exactly.
A fully healthy Belisarius Prime running for its life. There is going to be some marches from S96S that is going to attack the arc carrier, though.
Wow.
It is not a free pull whatsoever.
What?
Oh my goodness, the arc is down, but Beer's
Let's zoom out and look how many blue marches are training. Choo choo.
They should be able to wipe.
Bro,
these
they're gonna
marches
grab
for
it.
S-
It's not like-
S96S
There's
just
like
try
60
their
marches
best
in the
to
middle
delay
right
this
now,
arc. There's
still for
5
blue.
minutes left. There should be enough
Look
time.
at that. They're all split down to the bottom, and then they have
to
this big
capture
choo
this
choo
arc.
train coming.
And
GG's.
again, if Beer capture this arc, they should have full control over this game. What does S96S decide to do?
There you go.
Looks
Look,
like
they all left.
S96S
Look at the big.
sending
Those are all
the-
surviving marches.
the
They're good.
marches straight towards
See, what
this
they
arc.
should do is they should bring the arc to the
Oh, they're
left
setting- they're
because
setting
all
in
the
the
red
right,
marches
they're
are coming
gonna
from the right,
They have to contest this.
and their marches
Or
are
at
split.
least delay Beer from scoring it before the match ends, because if they
If the arc is dropped right here, that will give them the 10 seconds that they need to march across the map. So that's what they're looking for right now. I don't really like the call of them bringing it to the right side when all their marches went to the left.
My goodness, this is going to be.
See, look how free that left side is.
They were able to smash that mid fight so hard though. Now
So
the
y'all see the
mid-fight
little
marches
bump right there
are
in the
actually going
shadow?
to be
The
face
arc runner should
defending
be running around the
the
outside of
marches
it,
that are
because if he
sprinting
runs on
towards
the
the arc.
inside, it
And
puts
you
it
have
in
to keep in
jeopardy
mind,
if he drops it.
I mean, there is a sentry.
It
The
adds
sentry's
an extra like
absolutely
15
huge
seconds to the arc pickup
from
when you pick it up and have to run around that
S96S
structure,
because they can
and
see
it just
the arc
secures
barrier.
it. It's more safe.
But we've been talking about S96S's outpost control. They actually don't control their outposts right now, and this is crucial because outposts, if you control all 3 outposts of your home area, you can have true vision of the arc. So this arc is now going to be in fog of war for S96S. They're going to be running into the murder ball blind, but they have to. This is
See,
an arc that they
do you see what
need
I'm
to
saying though?
retrieve,
Because
that
they know
need
the
to
arc
at
runner was
least
running
not
underneath.
allow
They all
Beer
just
to
vector
get.
to the shadow.
S96S using sneaky tactics. Are they using it in the murder ball here? Using it in the murder ball, walking towards the arc so that they cannot
Wow,
target
because
the
nobody
marches that
saw
are
them
trying to
before
get
they went into the
to
murder
arc.
ball.
I do not think
Why wouldn't you sneaky
Beer have
tactics through the
enough
mid
points for
if you're gonna do
Desert
that?
Storm as of yet, or else
That's
they would have
wild.
used it already. This outer lane
See?
person
But you see
from
the
S96S
dark thing in
is
shadow
going
right
to
there,
be
the
the
hill?
blocker. Will
If
they
you would
be
have
able
ran
to
around
block
that,
this
it
arc
takes
and
like 10,
perhaps
15
take
seconds. That's
it
the easy way to
further
secure it.
away from the cities of Beer? This is pretty much this area.
puts it
is pretty
in
much
jeopardy
under
right
Beer's
here.
Control. Look how fast the reinforcements are coming in. 16 seconds to get to this arc. This should be under Beer's control, but S96S right now having the open field.
Oh man, they're doing everything in their power to make sure they don't score. I mean, 3 minutes can happen. It can happen, but how close they are to their cities is just, I find it close to impossible, Plato. Unless they pull something out of the bag, I don't think they can do it. God, it's too close, and it's too close. I think.
Well, they don't have master strategists, so
This
that's
should
out.
Be under Beer's control. The city and the arc literally almost touching. S96S has
Just
to
give it a
somehow
kiss.
Get control of this arc. There are no master strategies at play. You could see the bar here. Neither team has master strategies. Beer just going to be able to continuously pour in marches over and over and over again. The arc has been captured for Beer.
Oh wow!
Absolutely huge play from them. Up by
Prince, that's how they
10K.
read it. That's how they have to
And
read
no
it.
matter
Oh
how
my
much you can
God, they are
provision,
doing everything in their power to get a
S96S.
fourth arc on them and lose by
Should be the game for
10,000
Beer.
points.
What a game.
Oh man, I gotta see the precision score. I gotta see, because they gotta turn it in no matter what, right? So I'm really curious
You had to
see,
read it. That's how I
like,
imagined
what does
it.
work?
That's how I imagined
You
it,
know,
Prince.
having 10 to 12 marches missing, from the mid or defending structures. Like right now, you see the score on S76 side.
Let's
they
see.
jumped to
Show us
2K
the
just
provision
now.
score,
Like,
Bob.
everyone's coming home, so I'm wondering like what the difference will
I'm
be.
coming home.
S96S tried their best to try to get that.
I bet they get like
dropped the
5.5K
Battlefield. They dropped the
provisions
Shrine of War. They dropped everything.
total. Well, but when are you
just
gonna
to
put the
run
dog
at
up
that
there?
arc. Beer,
What
though,
dog?
Knowing that was their one win
Which dog?
condition. And as
Boba?
we're talking about, they did not put anything to chance.
Dog up where?
They did not say,
What?
hey,
Up, dog?
we have 3 arcs. We have a 6K lead. We should be good.
Mm-hmm.
They went, captured the arc, believed in their mid fight, and said, hey, we're going to go for that 4th arc. We're going to go for that 4.5K.
Is that what they said?
And let's make S96S have to come into us yet again. S96S have not been able to win a mid fight at all this game.
It's been 7
They're
years.
showing their dominance, showing
What dog?
that they trust their mid fights.
What are we
They
talking
trust
about?
their
I'm so
strategy,
lost.
They trust their leaders. With 1 minute to go, this is
Which
the
dog? I'm
first inkling of success
The dog.
that the international server has had. And perhaps the international server now starting to make their lower bracket run. All the international server teams are in the lower bracket,
Oh yeah.
finally taking
That's
a
where we
victory
thrive.
against the
We
Chinese
are
server.
Optic Gaming.
Beer doing the international server proud. S96S with a valiant and great attempt. But ultimately, the mid fights were just too much.
I hate
GG's
speech to text.
S96. Great work by Beer. And like I just said, I feel like compared to the last match, Beer really capitalized.
Oh
on
man,
the
that's
gaps.
too
I
good.
think
That's
they
too
had
good.
15,000 points from our arcs alone. And I believe, compared to the last match, they did much better on the occupation piece of it. So kudos to Beer for making that, making those adjustments. And again, S96 valiant effort on trying to minimize.
Nah, bro, they're about
those,
to capture
occupation,
17,000 points in
occupations
provisions.
against those arcs they lost, but they just couldn't pull through at the end. Lotto, they couldn't do it.
GG's to both teams. What a match. But Beer from the international server, coming from the qualifier stage, coming from the registration
We get it. We get it.
phase,
Show us the board.
able to take down S96S. They did have 6.7k in provisions.
That
but
one?
That was not enough, as Beer has taken the victory away. And will be continuing on in the lower bracket. Will be fighting 748 continue on an S96.
All right, fam. They now know the recipe to beat the Chinese teams.
S96,
You just need to capture a lot of
looking forward
arcs.
to the next match. And
What
we'll
a
see you all very
surprise.
soon.
And we will have a
Wow,
5-minute break
that's
before we
wild.
get into
Who would have thought of
60
that
GT
strategy?
versus 489.
Wow.
The Grand Prix finals of
Wow.
last year in the first round of the lower bracket.
Exactly.
See you all then.
Bro, there's another match. Oh no. I don't know if I'm it's probably a hot dog match, isn't it? I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Oh, I can feel the wife's laser beams. Moby! How's it going, Moby? I can feel. Wait. Is the GT match next? Oh, bro. That's the only one outside of the first one that I actually wanted to see. Damn it. Should be hot. Yeah, it's gonna be hot, spicy diarrhea. So you're saying that the strategy to win is just to bring composition marches to the middle? Hey, fam, we can scrub backwards and I'll show you the mid fights. The team losing mid is bringing Scipio. They're bringing Scipios. They're getting clapped. They're getting clap. Had to go through all the crap first. Yeah, exactly. Moby. Had to go through all the crap first. What crap? Give me 1 second. Let me check on the wife real quick. I'll be right back. I need to get some water too. I'm thirsty.
As we are back.
Cowgirls.
The casts.
All right, we're in it, boys and girls,
60
ladies and gentlemen,
GT
children of all
in the top
ages.
left corner. Versus
Let's get into this exciting cast.
489 in the bottom
Right now, what they're going to talk about is
Most teams,
all these
most
cities
people
are porting
expect
in
these
to
teams
a
eventually
desert
face
map.
Each other. Most people did
Super
not
exciting.
expect them to face each other in the lower bracket 1.
Hell yeah, we did.
But in the first round of the lower bracket 2, this is a
Mind-blowing.
rematch.
Who knew that provisioning would beat
of
GT?
Last year's Grand Prix. But it's a rematch of the finals.
It's only as if
But it's
every single
also a
time
rematch
GT has ever
of the
lost,
realm
they've
of the
lost
newest
because of
finals
provisions.
This season, season 8. These two teams having a lot
If
of
you do a
history.
little research, you would
Redline,
know.
what do you think of this
No,
matchup?
no, no,
It's gonna be a nail
no.
biter, man. And again, it's a grudge match from last year. With
Same thing with 489 when they
winning
lose.
Grand Prix.
It's
This
against teams
matchup
like
is gonna come
93T
down to
that
the
can
little
match
details.
them
If you look
on
back at the last match,
in structure and mid, and then they
GT
lose
did well
on
their
provisions
arcade,
at the last
struggled
minute.
in the occupation and provisions. On the opposite end, 49 had no arcs last match.
Whoa.
Occupation, they were up by 6K, but lost in provision. So I feel like these teams also need to
Chat, who do we got
adjust
winning
and
this,
fill those
chat?
gaps. And
Who
I
do we
really think
got?
That's gonna come down to the wire here on this one.
I think that these two teams being in the lower bracket just
What
shows
champion
one, the amount of
is
competition
going
that's gonna be
home
that has emerged
today?
in this year, this iteration of the Grand Prix. But two, how hard it is to repeat as champions in the Grand Prix. Things change year after year. I think both of the rosters they definitely have some new players, some new talent. Now in the lower brackets,
Well, Chad, I'd
hoping
like to let
keep
y'all know
their
that these
run
teams aren't
alive,
actually the official teams.
the winner
Because
of
for
this
some
match
whack
will be
reason,
versing
Lilith
27
may
WP,
always makes the decision
which
to
would
let
be, I
you
believe, a rematch for 49.
enroll a team, and they don't need to justify.
be
The
really,
person may
really
not even
interesting to
have
see
been
how
on the
these two teams
team when they
react
won the
and
championship.
face
That's
off against each
wild.
other. As the gates have
That is
finally
wild to
dropped,
me.
we see energetic used by 489 and 60 GT. The initial rallies, we have
489,
the 4
yeah.
obelisk rallies for both teams, 8 rallies in general, in total rather.
Hey, Chad, I want y'all to know. Take a wild
Give us some
guess.
insider information. What do you
Which
think we will
team
see in this
brought
match?
Scipio to the middle
Well,
last game when they lost?
Like I mentioned in the last match, I think the openings are going to be in the same.
Both
I
of
think they're
them?
both going to invest heavily in the inside lanes. But the thing with the last match, 489, they only lost that by less than 2,000 points, and their occupation.
And it
game
was
is very
2,000
strong.
points
The
difference
thing
in
is,
provisioning.
GT, I know they go heavily in the middle, and they do very well.
Oh
in the
my
middle,
God.
But can they adapt to the occupation game of 489, which is very strong in my opinion? So that's really going to dictate the game here for these two teams. Can GT adapt to 489, and then is 489 going to go harder in mid?
Yeah, I mean, these two teams very familiar with each other on paper. Not expecting to see this matchup in the lower bracket in the first round. Both of these teams seeing as one. Some
Can
of the
they adapt
favorites
to the
alongside
occupation
NXT
game that they're both really good at?
in the international
GG's.
server. Now only one of these teams can continue. This is a win or go home scenario. One best of
They're
one.
gonna split mid.
So all of these
Structure
decisions,
game will be
all
pretty
of these
close,
plays are
and
gonna
then
be
whoever
crucial for
provisions
both
more will win.
teams.
That's the way this one will
We'll
lay
see
out.
standard play from both of these teams, Redline, or are we going to be seeing something new? Is it going to be standard?
Let's see
because
if they
this
can
is such
start
an
counting the
important game, or
provisioners.
Is it going to be something new because it's such?
I'm gonna put it in the main chat. Let me
I
see.
think we're gonna see something new. If you right now, like you see those marches going down to the middle. I'm really curious of what GT is gonna do here. They're not going to the desert altar like how normal standard play is, where everyone's going down the inside lane. What are
I put
they
in their
doing?
chat
They're
provision
leading
check.
Red here, like 6 people. Is this like a little secret mission that they're going for? Like I'm really curious of what they're trying to do here.
It's not
Are they
very
coming from the
secret
backside?
though, because 489 puts a sentry in the middle here. They have full vision that the Zest Altar 1 is not going to be contested. But 2, that they have a whole slew of marches in this middle side. 489, as we said, these two teams are very familiar with each other. 489 probably saw that this would be something 60GT would do.
Interesting. That's a very interesting, I mean, perfect placement on the side of 489. Just very interesting. Like, and are they gonna do to, I guess, counter it? Which, yeah, I think I was right. They're going to go from the backside. But does that do anything? Like, does that do anything? Now that they know where they're at, like, does that really do anything?
They are going from the backside, as Red said. I don't know what exactly the plan will be, where they're going to be sending these marches. Perhaps it could be a swing around to this topside desert altar, over-indexing on that side. I feel like 489 have so many marches around this desert altar area.
The play isn't uncommon. I know the casters are saying it's uncommon, but 1v did this strategy to GT back in the day. And what they did was 1v, they rotated people in mid, they hit them from behind, and then they dipped from the altar, and then they went and gatekeeped. And so when the players died off and had to rotate back towards middle, then they were hitting them and yellowing out all their marches so that in the middle they would have a bunch of yellow marches.
If they snipe out this
I actually casted that match, so some of y'all may have seen that when they did that because we caught it. We actually did a breakdown video of it too.
Even if the structure goes to 489, it's going to be hard for them to hold. This murder ball kind of looking like KVK, a back and forth, making sure that
how many interesting points have we?
Middle side are going to be there. We start to see this back and forth between these two teams, making sure that they don't overextend. 60GT though look like they have taken the more negative side of the trade. A lot of their marches already being red. I feel like 489's marches, however, were able to get off scotch-free without a single skill firing from 60GT.
See, what I don't like is I don't like that GT didn't go to the altar.
What they plan to do.
I wish that those marches that were going to go to the shrine would have gone to the altar, so then you have it pinching from both sides. You can afford to give up a shrine. Shrine doesn't mean jack.
And this top side over here looks like a pretty even fight from both teams in this outer lane top side. So all things considered, pretty interesting play from 60GT here, but I don't think it'll pay off too much. 489 were able to get that first tap. There was a garrison from 60GT that was trying to sneak into that desert altar, but this will be a hold from 489. You can see all the structures in this map in the top right, all of them going to the obelisk taken, but I don't think that'll mean too much.
I mean, delay and teleports, right? But I mean,
yeah, people are commenting. They're like, I don't know who to put it on. Like, you can put a couple bets on GT, but GT has never won Grand Finals or Grand Prix ever. So the idea of choosing them as a winner is they can break the mold, but they've never shown that they can do it.
Teams or players are coming from the top side of that desert altar. They just did well to counter that, but yeah, that was a very curious battle. I had no idea what they were doing there.
Well, all things considered, the map is actually even though the Shrines of Life are towards their opponents. It's a direct mirror outside of the outpost, so 60GT do have advantage of. So all things considered, looks like a pretty standard play here, but I feel like 489 have a tempo advantage. Look how many marches are marching towards the Shrine of War, marching towards the sky altar. Interesting that they actually decided to attack both structures at the same time.
Is it interesting?
Wow. These guys are the sacrificial lambs so that this Shrine of War can be attacked.
Or the last 2 years of Season 7 and Season 8. No, they haven't never won Grand Finals or Grand Prix ever in the history of Rock. They've won their Osiris League realm, but they've never won Grand Finals and they've never won Grand Prix.
It probably was
1v has always beat them.
Play, right?
1v always beat them. 49 beat them. And yeah, they never. And then 93T beat them.
Put the pressure on GT, and I feel like they'll be able to do that here by taking the shrine.
Yeah, I mean 60GT here, able to take. Oh. 60GT, there you go. 60GT's shrine has been taken. First occupation points at least has been stalled out. The thing about the Shrine of War, why it is not attacked too much, is because it's on the way to middle. So even if there's some marches from 60GT that just come over
Yeah.
in the middle, try to take the Shrine of War, it's not going to mean too much. And they're not even trying to hold it. They don't have a garrison in there. They have a Huakibing, some AFK marches actually from 489. But it shouldn't matter too much. They're going to sad face their marches into the 60GT structures. Again, you see the Dragon Lancers, the Marks Women's, so that they sad face as slow as possible. That's the reason why they put the bad garrisons on their city walls, so that they take away as much.
I also feel like I should have breakfast. Dude, breakfast sounds delicious right now. I don't know what I'm getting. Honestly, don't.
But you know, it'll
It feels like they'll be able to put pressure on it. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. It's one of those like.
Yeah. Now
both of these teams are really good.
Left in the arc, Pato. GT looks like, you know, they're going mid, right? But like their structures, like again from last match, the problem was the occupation.
It's going to be down to mid. The one thing I'll say about GT,
are they gonna, you know, learn from those mistakes and then kind of
it's a copycat league.
Balance it out by while still taking out the mid.
I feel like for the last couple of seasons, GT hasn't been the meta provider. That's the reason why you'll see them play 93T or 489 and they lose game 1 and then win game 2 because they copycat from game 1 and then they'll lose in game 3 because then game 1 they switch it up. So they aren't creating metas anymore. They are just copycatting the meta, which is their downside.
Directly for this first arc, and then they're probably going to go defensive for the structures and go provision, similar to the Chinese style of gameplay that we've been seeing from the Chinese server. But you can see that both teams here are stacking this area. Looks like 60GT. Are they going to try to retake this Desert Altar? There is a rally coming through. Actually, this rally should be able to take it. They have 2 swarmers there as well, so it should be a free take. They should be able to get their first occupation points. You can actually see some marches coming out from the 489 Desert Altar. I don't know if that was on purpose. But overall, the first occupation should be fine.
Zoom out. Zoom out. Nobody cares about the ball.
Oh man,
damn it. What are you going to eat for breakfast, Prince?
Who's going to have the momentum here? Who's going to take this? Because 489 and also in their own right are great at the mid as well. So really interested to see, like, this first arc is really going to dictate the game. You know, are they going to hold it? Like
pancakes or eggs and sausage? Whoa!
I'm interested to see. You know,
wow.
Both teams do like these skills.
Are you a plain pancake guy, or you like all the bougie pancakes? And do you like fluffy pancakes or cakey pancakes? And cake as in like more dense.
In that first game,
that's the trick.
But
I am torn, bro. Just get the all-American breakfast and get it all. You know what I'm saying? When in doubt, eat it all. Just eat. Instead of eating 15 pancakes, you eat 7.
To the death here. But you know, to the death doesn't mean you're gonna necessarily win a mid fight. There, you could have some combination of total vision, of bog down, of dust up.
Sounds pretty good.
To the death, but
I'm considering getting some barbacoa or something. I don't know. It's Sunday. It's football time. Like, I'm ready. I'm jacked. We got a little stream in.
The arc
two murder balls.
Hit him with the war drums, brother.
War drums used by 489. This is the first time in Grand Prix. I feel like in Osiris League this past season that we've seen war drums be used.
It's because the good teams use it.
Skill here. My goodness.
Watch it. These are the testings that they do.
Used in quite some time.
I guarantee you that they've tested this combo out. Watch.
Used by 489 though. So perhaps they're looking to use 9 points. Overall, it is 5 points in response by 60GT. Perhaps 489 saying war drums does more than sneaky tactics.
Oh, Cowboys, hopefully we have a better showing because that Pittsburgh game was ugly. Well, we still have a bunch of players out, so we'll see. I'm not expecting much today, to be honest. Bro, our injury list is like a Pro Bowl roster right now, so
it is looking pretty close, but the blue sad faces are starting to come out. So are the red though. So are the red.
Are
I
they?
think it'll come down
Wait,
to
there's
first
blue.
pull. I
Oh
think
no,
it'll
there's
come down
red.
to
Oh
first
my
pull.
God, there's blue.
Who is
Why
gonna
don't we
be the
zoom
true
out and
arc
just
carrier?
spectate
Will
it?
be 60GT? Will it be
Jesus Christ,
49?
put it in the middle
It
of the
is
map.
489
Put it in the middle of the screen.
with a perfect pull on their side.
Put it. Oh
of
my
the
God, bro.
fight. This
This is like watching
double
somebody
C's
cut a
running
cake and then they
for
cut
its
it
life.
wrong, like in a
But what
wrong
huge pull
direction.
from the double
Bro,
C.
just
They
put that
have a
shit
backup
right in the
arc
middle of the
carrier
screen,
as
brother.
well. Will they start pulling this arc a bit late? 60GT though look like they are winning the overall murder ball.
But look who
even
brought
though it's a
Scipio
quick
to middle.
pull, 60GT able to get that second pull, able to get them, able to get.
And look
the
who's
mid
losing
win,
mid
and
again.
Overall, able to get control of that arc, even despite that 489 pull.
There were a lot more
Wow, so
Scipios
they come
on
down to
489.
Structures. How is 49 going to respond to structures? Right now, it looks like bottom side they lost their Shrine of Life, so that was that 5% defense that was lost for that mid fight. You know that could have been a huge factor as well. But how are they going to respond? To losing this first arc? And will GT turn it in and continue to fight in the middle?
That was a huge win from 60GT.
All right, chat. Do you think
3K
they're gonna turn it in or they're gonna hold it?
Looks
Put in
like
the chat.
60GT have some marches defending it. They have some marches attacking.
Yeah,
as well.
Joan
Sometimes
is
the best
meta
defense
for
is
mid
good
for sure.
offense. Because now the marches that could have
Both
been
of them
trying to
will have
snipe,
Joan.
trying to
49 was actually one of the first
attack
teams to actually bring the Joan
arc carrier
strat
will
to mid.
now be preoccupied defending
couple of
the Desert
seasons
Altar,
ago.
preoccupied defending the Shrine of War. And the 60GT should have full control of this game as 49
Athos,
are
yes.
scrambling right now to
So-
try to defend their structures.
Mid, they use Athos for a lot of speed.
Shrine of War 489 time looks definitely undefended right now. So
But
maybe
I will
cap
say
for them.
this: in mid fights, more so they'll use Ethels for
Desert Altar
outside
looks like
lanes
it's
because of
also getting
speed.
aggressed upon
But
as
they tend to
well.
use, if you're going to
Although the
use an
rally
Ethel,
is quite
they'll do
far
a Trajan
away.
Ethel for mid, just because
Looks
of
like
the you're not
49
really
also
having to
trying
run
to attack and see the weakness of the
a
Sky
couple.
Altar.
You're not going to send the whole team's worth.
60GT's murder ball was so dominant that you know the outer lanes are actually pretty exposed from 60GT because not that many people sad face. So I think 49 seeing that a lot of the marches that
Hey,
usually
Terry,
outer
how's it
lane
going?
are
Good to
in
see
the
you,
inner lane
buddy.
attacking the Desert Altar, trying to trade Desert Altar for Sky Altar. But if you lose mid,
What's happening? How y'all doing?
Want to do? They were able to take the Desert
Y'all,
Altar. on the
you
top
found
side
me.
here.
You found me.
60GT trying to take that back.
I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out, fam. Do me a favor. If y'all are enjoying the watch party, drop a like on the YouTube stream. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, which if I see you in chat, I know you've subscribed because you can't chat otherwise. And if you have a Twitch account, go check us out on Twitch. We are going to be doing a lot of Twitch drops for other games. We've done Twitch drops for X Defiant. What other ones have we done?
At 700K, I believe.
Ooh, I think we're gonna do some Call of Duty ones. I hadn't had the channel created. Some Call of Duty ones and some other games as well. So if you're looking for some free swag, some actual free shit just for hanging out with us, go check us out on Twitch for sure.
Are they able to hold this structure? Let's see the reinforcements. that are
GT
coming
mid
in.
so
Not
dominant,
too
I
many
wonder
reinforcements
why.
coming in, still
Hey.
rather far away.
March
So
composition,
all
brother.
the marches around this Desert Altar will be the marches for
How much you want to
some
bet?
time.
How much you want to bet they went back and rewatched the
CPOA
Chinese match
with Tariq is
from the
doing
Chinese server and then
big
just
on this
copycatted their
Desert
marches?
Altar. And 49 just didn't have.
If I had to
enough
put
marches
money,
to
that's what
spend
I
on
would
that
put.
rally. So the Desert Altar will flip.
Every time GT is lost, that's what they've done.
The
I don't
Desert
blame
Altar
it. It's
will
not a
flip.
bad strat.
It looks like all four altars.
But there's very few teams that I would say that uniquely use skills or combos or anything like that outside of a couple of teams.
Look at the cab marches.
No.
Triple line.
Yeah, I was doing it on the watch party.
I'm like
Ter-
reverse caster cursing it right now as 4-9. This Eleanor is
Yeah,
holding
they
on for
costed
dear life. You
themselves.
can
They
see
threw it.
brand new marches coming in.
They should have won that.
60GT
But they threw.
desperately swarming down this Desert Altar. There's no garrison in there. The garrison
Well, it
is
wasn't
now
a sup-
starting to, there is no garrison
It was a
nearby,
surprise
actually. They have a
because
Joan of Arc Prime
their
and
strategy
are
in the
stuffing
beginning
that thing.
sucked. I don't know why they gave away the
It is
first
still a
arc for
Joan of
free.
Arc
It
Prime
doesn't
garrison.
make
It's now an
as
XY,
strong
and
as a
it's
mid
finally
team as
gone
you
down.
are. I don't know
It should've
why
gone down about
you would give it up
a minute
for
ago
free.
if it was normal teams, but 4-9.
That is what costed them the match. It wasn't anything else.
a great hold
They
from
played
them.
exactly the way after that one
And now
arc. They
they're
played
trying to
exactly the
just
way
hold
they've
on
played
to
every
the
other match.
style
They
so
don't
that they
provision.
can maybe take back
They're
the Desert
strong in
Altar.
buildings and they're strong in mid.
You know, definitely having some tempo on these.
So the
buildings.
fact that they
You can
gave
see
away the
now
first
it
arc
is
for
about a
free was what
1.6K
costed them the game.
advantage on the scores.
They
right
would have
now.
won based on that.
Although 60GT do have 3K in the bank, so they are up by about 1.4 overall. 60GT.
I wonder if Leo
But what should have been a disastrous play from 489 because
Quite has
489 went mid, they lost. arc.
I don't think Leo
They
in
were
mid
actually
does
able
very
to
well
come
though.
back
Leo's
a little bit in
very
this
slow.
game here and
Very
take back some of
slow.
these altars.
Yeah, it's looking good for 489 in terms of like what they did to counter that loss to the
Jesus Christ, dude.
mid fight. I feel like they're doing a really good job at okay, hey, that didn't work out. Let's shift. Let's make adjustments. Let's minimize those points. And doing a really good job at least taking some points away from GT from,
Yeah.
from those buildings.
So the fact that they gave
Yeah, we can see
up
that
the
it is
free
now
the free
stable.
arc in the beginning
Structures are now stable.
against a team
No
that is
provisions
very
as of
strong.
yet
Like
from 489.
they would have had to
We
not
see
have done
1,
any
2,
research
3,
to not know
4,
that GV's
5,
strongest
6
suit
provisions
is
from
structures.
60GT.
So the
Oh,
fact that they
man.
gave
So
away mid
60GT
for free to focus
think
on
they've been
structures
watching
against
the
a team that
Chinese
is strong
servers,
against
seeing how they've
structures
been
doesn't make sense to
provisioning.
me.
Seeing that a lot of these Chinese server games come to the wire, but they've been able to win by out-provisioning their opponents. Seeing that this game might be a nail-biter as well, but as long as they provision more than their opponents, they should have a good chance to win. So 60GT definitely having the provision.
I will say this, you will know if
GT
GT is provisioning or not because they will actually utilize energetic with their provisioners. So see the 5 provisioners, I guarantee they're going to start popping energetic and the provision skill, and that's what's going to be the difference.
10 gatherers on the side of GT, and last match they did about like 4,800 points of provisions, which is like literally one arc, Plato. Like, and nobody on the side of 489 is doing that. You know, I feel like GT is really thinking of the long game here. In the event they do lose the mid fight, but now as we say that,
Well,
arc
GT
has been
understands
turned
the
in,
reason they
Plato.
always lose
So
is
we're gonna
because
see
of
another arc fight
provisions.
in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
And you can see the true score between these
It's
two
the reality
teams.
of it.
It is only 700
It's very
points.
rare that you're going to see GT get dominated in structures or in mid.
60GT though.
They're
are
either going to be
provisioning
trading back and forth in mid,
49,
which
if you're
they've
not
done,
provisioning,
right,
you would
against
hope that you
93.
could flip these structures.
They'll lose one arc and then
It
win
is
the next
very, very
one.
hard to flip
And then the building game's always
teams
pretty
in
pretty
the
nil
Grand
against
Prix
the top tier
structures,
teams,
especially
but
because
it's the
these are best of
provisions
the
that
best
always
teams
kills them.
from the international server, from the Chinese server. 60GT 489 are definitely some of the best teams from the international
Oh, Leo.
server.
Oh, the
Being
GT.
Grand
Okay, I thought you were
Prix
talking Leo the commander.
finals last
Leo the
season.
GT member.
And you can see that the gameplay is
R4,
reflecting that.
not mistake, I
This
believe.
is a
Arvix
great
grabbed
hold
that.
from
Yeah,
60GT.
Arvix grabbed his
Mirroring
account
the
and moved
hold
it
that
to
489
2489.
did Earlier in the same desert altar, both teams
From what
just
I
scored
remember,
on
I don't know if
the
it's still
desert
there. I don't know,
altar.
but that was back when
And
Leo
honestly,
left.
This is a huge win for 60GT.
But it doesn't make a difference because these aren't their real
60GT
accounts.
go
These are
even
dev
with the
accounts
structures. They
that they're
just need to
playing
play
on.
Defensive with the structures. They're winning slowly but surely with their provisioner points.
All right, so GT capped arc.
I completely agree with you, but my concern
That's
on the
crazy.
GT
They
side is
capped
that,
the
you know,
arc and
right
are
now it's
only
just
up
occupation
by
points, right? They're down
500
about,
points?
2.5k versus 489, right? But if 489 continues to capitalize that for what we assume there could be 3 arcs in this matchup, you know, they can definitely keep the gap very close, like right as it is right now, 500 point difference.
Yeah, I mean, it is. If you're 489, there's a looming.
The
threat of
GT's
those
confidence.
gaps.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know
they've
if
done
it's
this
the
scouting
confidence.
report. I'm
I
sure they've
think
known-
they need the
know that
arcs.
60GT do
Being
gather
perfectly
points
honest,
quite a bit.
489's structure game is
With
very
the
good.
Grand
I'm not saying
Prix
GT's isn't good, but
being
49's is
developed
very
by
good.
Everyone having same commanders, same gear.
So it's going to be like those little things that are going to be the
Gathering
difference between the
feels
two.
like it's more stronger because everyone has those legendary sets of gathering gear. They have the legendary inscriptions for gathering armaments. So it's looking super strong because people have been able to make 1 arc worth, 2 arcs worth with 7k in provisions. 60GT seeing that with all of their provisioners lighting up the map, lighting up the camels. There's going to be a camel shortage in 60GT side soon because of how many gathers that they have out there, how many provisions that they have out there. And with them with the lead,
There you go. You're starting to see
49
49
have their
provisioners now
squad. They're the
too.
ones in the
I wish they would
back.
actually
It looks
move
like
to
they
the
are
right
starting
so
a
you can
mid
see them.
rotation here.
I can see
5
GT's, but I
minutes
can't see
before
49s.
arc spawns.
Yep. We You're going to see a good fight here in the middle. And remind with the stream, right? The winner
Stocking
of
up
this
skills
match,
soon.
they face against 27 WP.
I don't remember how many skills were popped. I think 49 went a little bit harder in the first one than GT did. So GT may have a slight skill bar advantage. But we'll see.
Got it. Ooh.
So it's going to be a rematch for 489. Or it's
So
gonna be
they
60
have
GT
Heaven's Grace. Oh, they use
trying
Heaven's
to
Grace
revenge 489.
first.
They're rivals.
So
here.
49, I would assume,
But yeah, 27 WP, a very strong
will
team,
have
very
Heaven's
close match
Grace.
last yesterday as well.
I feel like they're going to do a
So
bog
it
down
is a
Heaven's
win or go home
Grace.
scenario, but they're going to be versing a very strong team if they do win in this lower bracket run.
Either way,
it's
gonna
rough.
it's gonna be a great.
It's
gonna be rough.
It's going to be a rough path, but it's not impossible for these two teams, you know, being the two grand finalists last season. The lower bracket definitely showing to a lot of potential and a lot of intrigue because these teams are playing for their tournament lives. Everything matters. All the decisions, you know, perhaps hitting a march a bit too early, hitting a march a bit too late, the skills that you use middle, how fast you rotate middle as well. And it looks like
That makes no difference.
489 rotate middle. Some
The
of them
difference,
actually
the
going
thing that
towards
people got to
the
understand
sky
about
now,
rotating
so
middle,
it's just
it
a
doesn't matter whether you get there
play
5
from
minutes
489
early or a
perhaps. It's
minute
just-
and 10 minutes, a minute and 10
I think
seconds
it is,
early.
Waldo. I think it is
The fact is, you just need to have
49 strength. Like
the
from
ability to
previous
organize
matches,
your
like,
team
they're
where
very good
everybody
at
is there at the
occupation game,
exact time
and I
that you
feel
need
like
to be
they're gonna
there.
take advantage of that.
If
And
your
the
team
thing
is slow,
GT gonna counter
then you
that.
probably
They
have
know
you probably
that.
need a longer
And they
time,
know that.
right?
Again,
But what
these
does that
teams
mean?
played
You're
together
gonna
numerous
get
times throughout the years.
dinged.
And
There's
they
3-4
definitely know each other's
minutes
strengths
on the
and
outside
weaknesses,
lanes
so
that maybe
it's
you're going to
really
lose
about, like,
structures.
how can teams adapt?
Right?
Because right now,
If
looking
you
at
can
the map
afford to
here,
come in with a
49,
minute
they
10
should know
left
now
and still hold
that
your
they're definitely
structures,
focused on the building
that's
game
best.
because
You know what I mean? Like, there's no
GT
need to
lost
stand there for
Strike
3
Wars,
minutes
lost
and
the
stare
other
at each
altar.
other.
So like,
That's why you're seeing, they keep
49
saying that
doing what they
teams
can
rotate at
in
5 minutes.
anticipation
No,
of losing this
shitty
arc
teams
to
rotate
kind
at
of
5
wipe that away,
minutes.
make it a pretty safe free arc.
Good teams rotate
I
about
mean,
2 minute mark now,
If
currently.
you go building game and your opponents rotate super early.
The reason teams
that's
rotate
actually
at
good
5
for you
minutes is because they don't
you
have the
30 minutes where
organization
these
of
marches
the players to
60 will be
understand,
twiddling their
like, I need to be there
wondering
at
what they should be
per,
doing,
yeah, like it's
wondering
like when
it was a
you
bad
if
call
you're
to
a
put the
husband
middle
and you
this
tell your
early.
wife, hey, we're leaving in
However,
5
the only
minutes,
structure they've taken
but
so
you
far
understand that
is
you're
the
actually
Desert
leaving in
Altar.
30
Shrine Court was
minutes,
taken back from
you
CCGT.
tell them 5 minutes
Sky
because then they
Altar, though,
actually
looks
hurry
like
up
it's
and then you
under
can actually
heavy
leave on
assault
time.
from 489.
It's a big brain
I
move.
think the
So you
play
do
will
the
work
same
out
thing
for
in art.
489
If
they
you know
able to
that
take the Sky
players are
Altar, which
always
looks like
late,
they are
you tell
able
them we're
to,
going at the
and if
5
they're
minute
able to
mark.
hold it for
You know what I mean?
about 4 minutes, 5 minutes here. They should be in a pretty
89 are
comfortable
provision,
spot,
just check.
but
Yeah, they are.
If I was 489, I'd also be pretty nervous about giving up a free arc. They probably have some form of sneaky tactics to at least harass and slow down the arc capture, so it won't be exactly free. But
Oh,
I'm
they-
curious to see
I think
what
they're going for
60GT will
altars.
do with the murder ball that they had middle after the arc has spawned.
Interesting.
Yeah, looking at the map now, it looks like GT is kind of realizing, okay, hey, you know, 489 is not setting heavy presence in the mid. Now they're kind of using those other players' flexes to kind of support the other structure that they just lost. So good play by them to kind of realize the situation here, because it looks like they have really shifted a lot of their players out to those inside and outer lanes. So this could be a good thing for GT.
Yeah, I mean, they are being very flexible, saying, hey, we already won mid. We don't need to send everyone here. Let's go ahead and take back our Desert Altar. They took back the Shrine of War. They're on their way to take back the Sky Altar. I'm curious to see what 489 decide to do. Looks like they're going back to aggress on the altars again, but perhaps they could have went middle late and try to attack the murder ball that 60GT has. Perhaps it would have been too late already, so they're just going towards the structures again.
See, so this is the part that I would
I'm
say.
curious,
If
though,
you were
how
489
this will go. Sneaky
and you knew
tactics
you were going to
used
do
by
this,
489.
I would have had like Valiant
was used
Stand
middle.
or something to
And
help you hold the
Desert Storm
structures.
in response from 60GT.
You know what I mean? If you knew you were going to
They
try to
are
attempt
able
to do
take
this, I would have had
half of the
Valiant
middle. I
Stand so
love
you
this
can put it on an
489 though,
altar.
because
If you're going to
this top
concede
side
an
of the
arc,
ball
then
still
cool.
stealthy.
But you need to
They
have like some
used-
structure strat.
Wow, I've never seen this actually. They use sneaky tactics to its maximum range, splitting up the murder ball. So 60GT had to choose the top side or the bottom side.
Can somebody in my
So
chat who's
now,
been here
in
long
the
enough
middle,
tell
half the
me
murder ball will go to
what
the
team
deaths.
has done this before? I actually did a breakdown video of it. Tell me a team that I did a breakdown for that developed this strat.
Yeah, that is super interesting. And look at the map. The map is completely flipped.
I'll give you a hint.
So right
Redline
now,
was
in
on this
terms of
team.
Point generation, right? Literally, GT has 70 points versus 530. So 489 is doing everything they can here to kind of one, delay the arc, right, and then two, get as many points as they can from this occupation game.
Yeah, I mean, Redline. This.
I want
is
to see
going
if
to
any
be
of y'all
really
remember.
interesting. They were able to take.
So what they should have had was have the marches coming from the bottom, and it pulls all the marches away.
With this arc, I think 6GT know that there are some invisible marches. They saw that they had full vision of the marches as they split up. You could see now, coming out of stealth. Redline, do you think that this arc will be able to? Will this be a clean pull, and will 60GT be able to take?
So they're
this
delaying
step
it. You see
time?
how they're splitting multiple balls?
I think so.
So
I
they
think
knock
It's
down
not
the
that
arc,
much 489
they'll
to
pick it
go
back
again.
up,
They're gonna disrupt
then
or
they
maybe
click,
delay by a
then
few
the
minutes,
next
but
ball will hit
I
it.
think
It
based
wasn't
on what I see,
307.
there's a-
Nah,
there's
we weren't that
and
clever.
I feel like the amount of marches that are committed to this.
Redline was
for
never in
489 is
307.
Not a huge deal. It's more of just delaying. So their
It was
teammates
TR.
completely focus on structures and still, minimize as many points they're gonna lose from this arc.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the reason why sneaky tactics is so good, Redline, is because it forces 60GT. They don't know how many marches they should keep middle. They don't know how many marches they should keep to defend this arc. Sneaky tactics has
remember?
now worn off though.
A lot of people forget.
So now they see all of the marches.
They baited
around.
there, so they used
But
sneaky
that
tactics.
delayed
They had the
marches.
ball that was
Now they're
really
like, okay, there's
small.
not that many people here. We
They
can now
pushed
start
on the
going
small
towards
ball.
stealth
They
and
ran
start
back
going towards
around.
structures, but
Exactly.
And then as the ball was moving, then they grabbed the arc and ran it
on those structures
with the
where
sneaky
60GT,
marches.
If they
Yeah.
wasn't a sneaky tactics, probably would have rotated earlier.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that could be a huge factor as well too, right? Because all topside is now bright red, and it could be because of sneaky tactics. 489 was able to confuse GT to say, okay, they probably have, I don't know, 20 marches in the middle versus what they really have was like 5 or 6 players. Like, it definitely could have been a huge factor, and
Oh, you're good, bud. Yeah, the tactic was really good. I liked that play that they just did, right? Because that was more of a delay tactic than it was let's capture the arc, right? They hid the balls at the and then pulls, and then that's 10 seconds to pick it up. Then the next ball hits, 10 seconds to pick up. Then so you've effectively stalled for 30 seconds. So that could be like at the end of a match, right? You use that as a stall tactic. It's a very good usage of sneaky tactics if you're using it for stall.
Interesting from 60GT, perhaps seeing that the structures are going down, saying that we need the extra marches back from provisioners so that we can start getting back our structures. So this is going to be a true score here.
This is going to definitely be a true score. I completely agree with you there. And I feel like 49 is definitely capitalizing on this lost arc on the top side, especially with the structures just go flipping back and forth. They're just denying GT those points.
Yeah, and this Sky Altar, back and forth, potato, tomato, whatever you want it to be. The designers of the Sky Altar are probably so confused because it keeps becoming blue, red, blue, red. It has been a struggle for CCGT with this outer lane Sky Altar. 489 just putting so much focus onto that. Same thing with the Desert Altar. Desert Altar generating points, but it will go down with how many blue marches are around here. 489 doing exactly what they need to do. They saw 60GT. They probably know 60GT put in their gatherers. And now the script is flipped where 489 have more gatherers for 60GT. And now 60GT are, wondering how many gathering points are out there. But they do
So they're up by 1.6k now.
Pretty comfortable.
Arc,
as soon as they have control,
11 minutes.
Send out gatherers yet again.
Yeah, and I think that was a play too. We'll see here after this arc is turned in. I would assume that GT wants to have a third arc. It could be all based on like timing. Like, hey, arc is in, I don't know, 7 minutes. Let's send out gatherers here, X amount, whatever. And then when it comes down to the arc time, they pull those marches out. So I think they'll have, they're using
1.7. The arc's worth 3,500
to be most efficient. But now 489 is kind of going to do the same thing on their end with the amount of gatherers they have, which again, compared to what they had earlier, which was 0, they have about 4, 6 gatherers out there. So I think we're having a very, very close provision game at the end of this match.
Be interesting to see what goes down.
These two teams have history.
I believe this is
These
the
two teams
last
are very familiar
match
with
that
each
we're
other.
gonna have
And
on the
it's
watch
been
party
like this
today.
back and forth lately
If
for
y'all
the
can do me a
juniors.
monster
The
favor
clash of two
and
different styles,
drop a like
buildings
on the stream, consider
versus
subscribing if you haven't
arcs.
already.
Which side will win?
And
I'm
we're gonna
curious
bring y'all
on
more watch
how
parties
long
for
do you
different
think
games, all that
60GT
kind of
will
stuff.
hold
So
this
if you
up?
enjoy hanging
Do
out
you
with
hold it
us,
for the whole duration,
definitely
or do you think
consider
it'll
sticking
force
around. And if you
a
do
third
have a
arc because
Twitch
they've been so
account,
dominant with the arc capture
go
so
drop
far?
us a follow on Twitch.
I honestly think that they're
We
gonna
are going to be
win,
doing some Twitch
quickly for a
drops
third
and stuff
arc.
like
I mean,
that for other
the last two
games.
mid-fights have been
So
great,
if you're
but
interested in free goodies,
my concern is
just
though,
for hanging
that
out with us, go
I think
check us out
the
on Twitch.
play for 489 was not to heavily invest in the arc in the first couple games, because again, the last match they played against 27 WP, and it was a close match. Again, it was less than 2,000 points. They had 0 arcs compared to what.
Wait,
27
Redline
WP
did
had, which
research?
6,500
what?
points. So I think
Love
this
you,
could
Redline.
be part of their strategy,
Making me
not
proud, brother.
focusing
Making me
on the
proud.
mid for the first two.
Making me proud. Look
arcs.
at those, the research from different games.
Is growing
Oh
slowly but
man,
surely. They are now up by about 2.
love it, love it. You love to see it.
489 being pretty comfortable here.
And 489's gap to GT's occupation score is almost, it's like 6,000 Plotto. So they're definitely taking advantage of the structure game against GT.
That 6,000 point is actually pretty equal to the arcs that 60GT has captured. It's going to be 6.5k for the arcs here once this arc is captured. So I think it will come down to that final arc and occupation, and gathering.
Yep. It's gonna be a true score. It's gonna be, like you said, true score here. Like, it's gonna be, I think it'll be less than 2k points at the end for either team. I think who's gonna win this match. It's gonna be that close, Plotto.
Who do you guys think is going to win? 60GT, 489, put it in the chat. It is going to be so interesting. Gathering actually going to be an MVP here, as well as these structures and that final arc fight. A lot of factors with 23 minutes
All right,
left
let's see.
of this match here. Redline, what do you think?
Oh, red. It looks like they leveled off the structures.
They
So
have to. I mean, the GT has to continue committing that because they're struggling on the occupation.
I don't know why
game.
GT's
And
holding
then
this
if
arc, bro.
489 steals one of these arcs,
I really don't.
I can see this match in their favor. I truly do. Their occupation game is amazing. They're doing really well. It's just, can they steal one? Which I think they're going to hope to do in the next, once GT turns it in.
I think 60GT, though, have been doing really well. We've been talking about the altars flipping. They have not been flipping recently. Doing what they can, trying to defend those altars. I mean, it's a very even map here right now. I believe every structure generating points for their home team, even in points per minute, pretty much outside of one outpost. And now you can see the gatherers coming back out from 60GT. 1, 2, 3. Are these gatherers? I think they are 4, 5.
I'm honestly, you ready? I'm honestly thinking that 489 is saving their big bang for the third arc. I think that last skill is going to be their highest hitting skill.
489 though are up by about.
I think that's going to be their to the death. The only issue that I have with to the death is if they use Heaven's Grace and bog down, it's
Are
chalked.
they going to hold it for the 7 minutes?
I mean, I would assume
It's
they
chalked.
would.
I kind of wish they would have used it on the second arc and not the third, but
Looking at the map,
it is what it is.
everything on the red side is blinking red, right? So
We both know that
GT.
GT, everyone knows that GT has
kind of put, shift the
dust up
momentum
so
on the red
early,
side,
really.
and then people turn in the next couple minutes, because right now I guess once they stabilize and possibly get some points from the structures, which they're able to do right now with the Shrine of Life on the bottom side.
I think they're using
they're trying to
dust
get that
up because
momentum, and I
they
think
know
that's
that
what
they're
they're
still going to have time to regenerate that bar.
These lower brackets gets interesting and interesting. 21 minutes until we see the winner between these two teams. It is winner go home.
So they're up by 2,400 points right now. The arc's worth 3,500.
Right now, the first round of the lower brackets. Man, this is crazy. Grand Prix finals of last season, lower bracket, round one. And both teams here, whoever wins, are going to be who the international servers are looking forward to kind of proving ourselves here against the Chinese server. There's 4 teams in the upper bracket right now, all Chinese server teams. The arc was captured though, so there will be that third arc. 8 minutes until that spawns, and you could see that 60GT is up by 1.2k.
Gonna be close, Bottle. Again, 24-8, 49 is definitely winning the occupation game. GG's winning the art game, which we kind of both assumed
Here comes the
that was gonna be
swarm.
happening.
Structure is
It's
going to
just
go
who's gonna
down.
steal one from the
It's
other, and I
the
feel
timing. The timing of the
I
when
feel like
structures go
GT
down is something
needs
to pay
really,
attention
really
to.
kind of close that
That's
gap
probably
in
the most
occupation
important.
score
It's
in order
not
to maintain this
like I
lead.
know on
It's
their
so
cast they're
close right now,
focusing
but if
on
49
the
steals
structure
one,
went down. The structure. It's not about
49 can pull this one
that.
off.
It's about the timing of when it goes down. Right?
They have so
They just
many
captured the
gadgets out
arc,
there.
swarming the
think
structure
some of them
now.
are
Because
starting
then
to
what
collect them
happens
now.
is it forces the team,
So
your
I
opponent,
think
to have
they
to
will have their main
resend
gatherers stay
to
out
the
there,
structure
perhaps
to
4 or 5
retake it
gatherers.
back before they rotate
Everyone
middle. So
else
it's the timing of when
gotta
it
be all
captures
hands on deck for
and
these
flips that's
structures.
important.
And then finally for that final mid fight, it's going to be so interesting to see if 60 GT's provisions. You were saying that they need to make up the difference in their occupation. I wonder if they can make up that difference in occupation from provisions. This next arc though will give 4K points to whoever wins it. 4K points.
What are we staring at,
for
fam?
49 would definitely be a
just
good
all
margin,
blue.
but it's not impossible for 60 GT to come back in provisions. You said we've seen them do 4.8K. We've seen them do 5K in provisions. So the question is provisions and that last arc for 60 GT.
Exactly, and I think that's what they really need to do, and also maintain their points per minute from the structures. I feel like that's very important.
They're
for them,
also
because right
they're
now,
also
49
assuming that
very
GT
good
is
at
going to win
doing
this third arc.
which is why we see a huge gap in the occupation score. Yes,
Red
GT
line
has the
smells? Hell
arc
no,
score,
brother. Hell
Those
no.
little points matter. And that
Nobody
difference
talks
does
about my
matter.
boy
And,
like that.
You know, at the end of the day,
Nobody
it
talks
could be
about my boy
the
like
turning
that.
point in the last 2 minutes of the match.
My goodness, this is going to be coming down to the wire.
I think that
1.4K
last skill,
difference
I think
between
that
these two
last
teams.
skill is going to be either
Exactly
one
the
of two
same amount
things.
of
It's
points per
either
minute.
to the death,
It looks like the altar
Heaven's Grace,
has
or
now
it's the
started
provision
generating points
skill.
for 60 GT. We'll start generating points for.
Those are the
49
only things
pretty
it's
soon.
going to
So
be
it'll
because they
still
don't
be the
have a
exact
high
same
level. I
points
have
per
a
minute.
feeling it's going to be to the death.
These two teams pretty much
And they
mirror
saved it
each
for the
other,
third arc.
except for their focuses, where 49's been building focus. 60
49 is going to win and can't change my mind. I think so too. I would put my money on
The
them.
question is, Redline, who will be able to disrupt their opponents some more? Will 60 GT be able to hold their structures, or will 49 be able to steal an arc? In my opinion, I feel like it's going to be easier for 60 GT to hold their structures than it is for 49 to steal this arc, but we'll have to see in this final mid-fight that is going to be happening in 5 minutes here. When should we start seeing some rotations from
I won
these
every
two
bet
teams?
except
60
HJK. Well, that's
now,
because
actually.
HJK threw.
Yeah, I
So
think
is
she-
49.
Yeah, GT is definitely starting.
That strat
now. I
was
think
that
that's kinda
strat
even
was
on both
catastrophic,
sides.
bro.
When I was looking at the
We
GT
had it on the
match
watch
last
party,
night,
and
the
that
biggest
strat
opportunity they
was
had, again, just from a
that
spectator
strat was
perspective,
trash,
was
bro.
That they didn't counter the aggression from the opponent when they went to structures as they
Such
were
a
focused on
good
mid.
mid team, and
So
you give
here,
up
what's
mid for
important
free.
GT
Like
is
that's
really
wild.
balance out who goes to mid, who defends based on what they're seeing on the opponent's side. So you're gonna see a lot of hidden sentries, I think, coming out from GT side to really understand like that strategy of what they need to do.
This is a nerve-wracking last 17 minutes for
That'd be
both
wild.
teams here.
1,700 clowns.
Both have been realm champions.
What kind of party is that, Popo?
60 GT
Poo-poo.
getting the better of 489 in the realm of Anubis finals.
I'm a poor clown.
Getting a little bit of revenge for the 489 winning the
Hell yeah.
Prix last season.
That's a party right there with
These two teams
1,700
now in
clowns.
This round number 3 between these two bouts here to try to see who moves on. in
They're
this
really running out of material right now,
lower
fam.
bracket stage. It's
They're getting
gonna be
tired. They're getting tired of talking about
huge
red marches
for
and blue
both of
marches.
these teams, both of these kingdoms morales, to see who will continue to represent this international server. We have
I have too many
about
clowns.
4 minutes left. There is still a heavy assault from
I'm a
49 on
clown.
the desert altar here. Not to there. It looks like wait, are they going to attack?
They're gonna neutralize it.
the
Why is that so
sky altar
surprising to
as well?
everybody?
That's
They're gonna
what it looks
neutral.
like,
They're gonna
and that's what I
neutralize it
think,
because they
you see
timed
this
it where
as
they're
being
pulling
bumped up,
back to go to
like,
rotate to
they're
mid.
just out of view of that. And another thing to note, Potter,
And it'll give them enough time if they kill their march off to rotate back towards mid. They'll just be at like the 1 minute mark. They're showing up.
Pretty insane. So like. Again,
93 has a clown too? Yeah.
In the middle. So this could be the reason why they're focusing so heavy on.
I wish
structures.
Brian. I don't even know who Brian is. Who's
Hopefully-
Brian?
Okay, there's a chance they might not get mid here, but we're gonna take all GT
Brian?
buildings
Is
and
that
then
you,
close
Brian?
the gap based on all these gaps
Brian?
right now for 489.
That is true.
Which is a very, very risky
60 GT.
play.
Oh, Brian.
60
Yeah,
GT
yeah, yeah.
Very, very risky play.
Oh, Brian.
60
Yeah,
GT
yeah, yeah.
has already brought back most of their gatherers, right? That is super true. They probably knew that 60 GT would go for this mid focus, so they're like, "Hey, why trade everything?"
Who
in the
casted
mid-fight,
that?
which would be an easy bet? Let's
HJK. Who was it again?
Yeah,
I don't even remember anymore.
Let's go for these altars.
Trying to remember who
And
casted
now
it.
60 GT, they're making 60 GT have to make this decision. Do we continue to fully go mid, or do we go back to our altars? War drums used.
Yeah, I like
actually
Brian.
in the
Brian's
outer
Brian's a
lane
little
to
bit
the
more
sky
analytical.
altar. So as
I would
we were
say
saying,
I would say where he
going
lacks
for these
where he
shots-
lacks in casting is the personality part.
I mean,
The
yeah,
analytical
that's-
part he's pretty good, but the
and
casting
that
part
could be a
isn't.
huge advantage for
It's a little-
49,
it's a
right? Again,
little-
what is this? Our third arc was it 4,000 points?
It's like casting paint dry
Which
on the
in
wall.
hindsight, right,
You know
is
what I
not a
mean?
whole
Like
lot of
he
points
can
if
break
they
down
take all
the
structures from
everything it
GT
takes
and
for the
disrupt
paint
it.
to adhere
They
to the
easily
wall,
close that gap.
but
So
he's not going to sell
really
you a
interested to see how GT
can
counters
of
this,
paint.
and holds this little lead that they have.
I
Get
will
the
say
dog
this, though,
ready.
this is
Oh,
a
yeah.
good defensive force from
It's been
60 GT. It's not gonna be a
7
free sky
hours.
altar that 489 probably was expecting. So 60 GT, you know, they have defensive forces around the altar.
I'm getting the dog. The
altar
dog is
was
ready.
taken.
The dog
There are
is
a
ready,
lot of
Prince.
sat phases coming up from 489, so it's not going to be free structures, which would have been catastrophic for 60 GT.
Would it? Why?
They are still defending the structure. The Sky Altar, which War Drums is used in, is still alive here. Although it looks like they are trying to wipe the open field and the reinforcements around this Sky Altar. But it is still a delayed hold from 60 GT.
Please,
Even if the
GT,
Sky
make
Altar
me win some
falls,
coins. I need to buy
it
AP.
was some time, maybe 1 minute, 1.5
You can have
minutes
my,
that they
you can
saved.
use my zero to count. I think I have
Sure,
like
occupation
4
rates.
million AP or some shit, like the
GT did
7
a good
million,
job at
something.
getting
I don't
those
know.
Marches to the Sky Altar down to red, so the swarming impact
No,
would be
that-
just enough time for them to get reinforcement there. So I think
I just
that
don't have
those
marches
GT
anymore.
might be able to hold this based on the number of marches I see from GT coming to reinforce it.
They going arc
Oh, I
late.
could be wrong here, but
I think neutralizing the structure was the key.
Kingdom.
Oh, there it is. Hey, you know, we gotta keep it spicy here. We gotta keep it spicy. It was a close one though.
It was
Mid
indeed
fight.
close.
Oh, they're gonna get smashed, bro. Go mid.
It is
What are we
now
doing?
for altar
What are we
control
doing? Go
for
mid.
489. If they hold this for 13 minutes, it's going to be really, really
Brother,
interesting.
what are we
You
doing?
could see that the
You
point
zoom
gap is
in on
getting
some
lower and
trash
lower.
marches in
Now
the middle of
that's what
nowhere. In the mid fight, you don't do
we
anything.
have to keep in mind.
You're gonna use sneaky tactics in
that
the middle
60
again.
GT, they will have control of a 4K arc. So they are essentially up by about 5.2 unless 489 have anything to say about it. 489 yet again splitting up the murder ball. So this top side was revealed. This bottom side though was not revealed from Desert Storm, and this is a new iteration, a new tech to a Desert Storm counter of sneaky tactics. You split up your sneaky tactics marches to the edges, start running as soon as sneaky tactics is placed, and hope that Desert Storm does
Ooh.
not tag you. You could start to see now
GG's.
that there is just
GG's.
pandemonium in this.
They're
middle
waiting
area.
for them to pick it up, which I don't like.
You got
See,
Navy
they
SEALs
split.
here
They
just
should have
hiding
already
inside
started
of the arc.
pouncing.
You got five
They would
guys
have the
up
numbers.
top
There
and
you go.
bottom
They would have
right.
the numbers already in
But,
middle.
You know, the name of the game is
It'll
disrupting
draw
just
all the
49,
GT marches
right?
back.
They have all altars, man, and they need to really maintain that in order to kind of offset this arc. So we'll see how GT counters this and how 49 kind of sneaks this one away.
So Heaven's Grace was used on the side of
It is getting
489,
Really close. Score now. We said is at 1.2K.
but they got
Now
clapped.
It's at 600. There
Oh.
is. It's getting smaller and smaller. The gap's getting smaller and smaller. 60 GT though, able to take back the Desert Altar. Sky Altar is under attack as well. So they are taking back their altars. They have controlled this arc. Not the worst play from 60 GT as they have control of this 4K point arc and are now looking like they have control of their altars as well.
See, I like that they're splitting.
Will
There's
this
a
be
there's a
enough?
strategy
Well,
for
49's
this
provision
that they're
is
using,
actually
where they
make
use
the
the
difference
sneaky
between
tactics in small
them
ball
this arc
variations
being
to
captured
stall.
or not, because I feel
So
like
once
the
they pick up the
scorers
arc,
are
you
going
wait
to
for
be
them to
good.
pick it up.
49
Then
just
one
took
small ball
took
of 5
lead,
marches
rather.
hits them.
But it's
Right?
gonna
Then
be
it goes
easy
down,
to
then
get
it's 10
a
seconds. Then
600
5
points
marches
of
hits
1K
them, then it
advantage for
stalls. It's
49.
10 seconds.
So there's gonna be
So
3K
you
that can
realistically,
be
with
used
30
on,
marches,
or perhaps
right, that could be
so this is gonna be coming
60
down to the line,
seconds,
but
almost an entire
Yeah,
minute
and
of
look at the amount
stall.
of provisioners that 489
that you
have
get
right now compared to
right off the
GTs.
rip.
They're going in on those provisions. I think there's at least 2, 10 plus.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 perhaps? 12 provisioners?
That's a lot. So, like, I mean, right now, from a provisional standpoint, Yeah, 2K, but 2.3K versus 67. So you might see a huge jump up in the last few minutes of this match from the 489 side in terms of provision. So we're gonna
So
see
the point of
these
it
last
would
10
be
minutes are gonna be very
if you
crucial
time
for
it up
both
right.
sides' teams.
So
If
the
it's
reason
just
that
exactly
the only
now,
reason I would use that strat
again,
is
win or go
if
home
you are
hard.
going to go
Win or go home.
hard on the outside
Win or go
lanes.
home indeed.
So
And we'll
imagine
see
like
who's winning
93,
and
right,
who's going
where
home
they
in
have
about
been
10
known
minutes
to like
here.
concede a mid arc
We
to go
have
capture all
we're
the
in the lead
outside
right
lanes,
now at
right? And
700
then what you
points
do
at
is then you send your
4K
30 marches
in
to the middle.
bank.
You use your
In the middle
sneaky
of this murder
tactics,
ball of 60
and while
GT,
you are holding structures on the
we're not
outside,
looking
you are
great.
delaying the capture
They
on the
do
middle.
have some troops
Because you
that
can't
are going
abandon the arc
towards
runner,
this,
or else those sneaky
this
tactic
arc,
marches
but
are going to
it's
pull it and
not
run.
too
So you
many.
still have to have
Looks like
marches that are
majority of
watching over the
teams
arc
are trying
runner.
to take back the sky
So it's
altar
just a
of
delay
60
tactic.
GT.
Every minute that you
I
hold,
would say
right?
60
If you
GT
have
still
all
have one
the
skill
altars
that is
holding, that's just ticks and
question
ticks and
marks,
ticks
one
and
skill
ticks.
that
So
has not been used throughout
it
this
it
match. I'm curious
nullifies
as to
an
what
entire
that
arc
skill
if you
is.
do it if you time it correctly.
But,
Very curious.
So like right now, just think about it.
Master
How many
strategist?
marches win in mid for 489?
You never know.
Master
Right?
strategy is always an
And
interesting play.
The reality is there's probably what another 2 minutes
think
before this arc scored. If
don't
they
have
hold
the
on to
boost
these
to Master
structures, that was
Strategist. If
3
it is
minutes
right now, Master Strategist,
that they
so
could have been
might
holding
only
on
use
to
5 out
all
of
the
6
structures
skills
at
this
one
game.
time. So it's just a
But
matter
perhaps
of
this is
that,
stealing arc,
right?
perhaps
I
it's
think
the
they're
steal
scoring by
and
delaying the arc
structures of some
and then
kind.
holding structures. If you
You could see
if
60
you
GT
try
now
this
focusing on
and
the
do what
structures, everything
HJK
has been
did,
flipped
right?
back.
And
So
you
the
can't
point
hold the
leading
structures,
of
that's when you
60
get the
GT
chorizo,
should stop relatively
right?
soon.
Because the only
They
way
are
this is
now
effective is
down
if you are
by
holding the
about
structures. If the structures keep
1.7K.
flipping and going
So
neutral,
up
this
by
doesn't help.
1.2, now down
It's
by
pointless.
1.7, so about
You have to be able to pull what 93 did
3K-ish points gained.
yesterday, where they
in
flipped all the structures red and held it for like 2 minutes,
But that will
right?
not make up
Because
for
then
the
your
4K
score is
that
900
60
points per
got
minute,
from the arc.
and your score
With
it's
the
actually
provisions
more. It's
that
like
we saw from
1150,
the
or I forgot what the
489
total,
side,
the
that
max
could
you
be
can
the
score is, but
determining factor because
you're
they
holding
didn't-
that for a
they
long
haven't turned
duration.
anything in for the entire match, right? So like we're gonna see a huge jump there. So we're really interested to see. what the
So
scores
it
be
would
after
put them
GT
up
turns the arc. There's not gonna be
by.
enough time for a second arc, everybody. So
There
like,
won't be
it's
another.
really
There won't
gonna
be
come down
time
to
for
division
for
and
a third
how
arc,
each of these teams
or for
can hold their
fourth. Sorry,
structures
fourth
to,
arc.
again, delay as many points as they can. Because 49 did a really good job at keeping those structures.
So
in
they're
the
up
point
by
difference of occupation against
1500. That arc's worth 4000, so they'll be
Will
down by
no fourth
2500.
arc. It is going to be
So
coming
they would
down
have to be
the
provisioning like
occupations
6k
and the provisions.
if they want to pull off the upset.
60 GT starting to send out some provisioners, but
They would have to provision like 6k on the side of 489, which I'm not going to say is impossible, but based on what I saw early in game, they would have had to be provisioning all game long. which I know they don't, so I think they'll lose by like 2.5.
So now you can see the true score, and it is only 60 GT is only up by 1.8k. That is provisionable, and they also only have one altar right now. So 489 looking really comfortable with it with 7 minutes to go in this match. What does 60 GT have to do to come back into this red line?
They have to even out the structures, even probably steal some structures.
But 60
from
GT
49, but it's the provisions. Like
I don't
right
get
now,
why they
that's
keep
what
saying to
comes
come
down
back
to
into
final. It
this
is
when
so
they're literally
close.
gonna in the
And
lead. They're just
again,
holding
I
an
feel
arc.
like both teams, they
There you
offset
go.
their strengths.
Capture
right?
the
So
arc.
now,
They're
GT
losing
had about
by
10.5K
1
worth
point.
of arcs, 3 arcs, but there's a 10k difference. in
1.7?
occupation between 49 and GT, with GT only
1.7K
having
lead?
6k versus the 27k for 89. It's going to come down to provisioning, Plato, and trying to steal some of these structures, and we'll see who can do it. This is it. This
If
is
they
their
hold
chance
if
to
they
last
hold
7
3
minutes of the match to
altars
move
for the
forward
next
in this tournament.
4 minutes,
The Skylar
it's
flip
chalked.
is exactly what 60
I think
GT
the
have to
flipping
do.
of these and the neutralizing of these is going to be
Flipping
huge.
Sky Altar, getting
So
back their
what
own
49
Sky
is
Altar.
also
They won't
really
start
good at
generating points until 2 minutes
is they
away.
are good
This
at the
altar
timing
is
of when they
under
neutralize
Soulful as well.
structures. So that's
They
something to
have
pay
hold
attention
this
to right
altar
here.
if
They'll
they
take
want
2 minutes to capture,
continue to,
and what they'll do is they'll
continue
wait
to
till like
hold
the
this point
245
they
mark,
have.
and then they just instantly swarm like all the altars, the high scoring structures, and neutralize them. That way, for the next 3 minutes, they're not going to have score.
This might be for the game for them.
And so that's
This
why
altar
it's always
flips, it would
important. It's not
absolutely devastating,
with
but it
49.
looks like
It's
they were
not
able to
about
hold
when.
a
It's
lot
not
of
about
reinforcements
structures going down. It's about the timing of when the structures go down.
Here.
That's the important thing to
So
note.
huge hold from 60 GT.
They always go down right before mid rotations, right? Because they attack it. They always go down timing at the end of a match.
I don't know if this will be enough.
And so it's
taking back your own
for
structures.
teams that
You
are
kinda
watching
have
that
to
end
be
up
aggressive
learning
now.
that it's about the
Take
timing of when
some
structures
of
go down, not the
structures.
fact that you constantly take
completely agree with
structures
you.
down.
They have to do that, and they have to do that now because I feel like if GT maintains their current strategy of just defending,
7K on
but again,
provisions
and
is
they
hard.
avoid
It is,
not putting
Clown.
that pressure on
They would
them,
need.
right? They're
I've
kind of
seen
disruptive
7K
momentum
with
of the
2
game,
provisioners
so we're gonna have to see.
using energetic
Do you see
and skills.
60
But like the Chinese servers, the Chinese servers are doing that.
2, 3, 4, 5,
So,
6, 7,
but here's
8,
the deal,
9,
right?
10, 11,
They're
12, 13,
provisioning,
14,
but they're
15,
giving
16,
up
18,
structures
19.
in an effort.
Everyone's
So
looking for
that's
a
what
camel.
49 should notice.
Everybody is looking
Yeah.
for a camel to visit to get some of those caravans.
You have to be careful with this because you're sending so many marches to provision. If you neutralize all their structures, it doesn't matter how much they provision. You're going to be losing a ton of points.
It's so hard.
You're
to
trading
take
off pennies for
structures away
dollars
from
at that point, if
489.
that makes sense.
Knows that 489 is also going for provision.
If you can hold the structures, kudos, right? But most teams can't.
They're just,
You don't want to be trading pennies for dollars.
Hoping and praying that their existing lead of 1K right now, plus the extra provisions that they just sent out 5 minutes to go, will be enough to counteract 489's provisions. Do you think that'll be enough? Do you think 489 will be able to win off provisioning, or did 60GT just save it with the provisioners they sent out right now?
I have no idea. Right now, I'm looking across the map, and you got someone 49 like literally sniping caravan marches from GT.
1K difference,
Again,
yep.
You know, if the chat didn't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Claro, if you're killed in the node, you lose all those points, right?
Yeah.
But if you're traveling, you still get them.
Yep, that's exactly how it works. So
He's definitely doing some hits right now, but if you look at the provisioning, you know, it's coming close, and I'm really interested to see how 489, how much they've gathered in these last 3.5 minutes. And we should see them coming in now, and we should see that true score coming in for both sides.
Redline, this is nerve-wracking. If you're a 60GT fan, if you're a 489 fan, if you're a fan of Ark of Osiris in general, this is going to be such a huge match. Win or go home. Will they be able to continue on?
My money
60GT
is
or
49 is going to
489
neutral
here?
structures, bring in their provisions, and win by like
This is way
500
too close.
points.
Way too
Watch
close.
this. Watch this. Let's wait for
Oh my
it.
goodness, Sky Altar, it looks like that will be
Neutral
safe.
structures.
Looks like
Here it
Shrine of
is,
War
right?
under
You're getting
assault
to
from
that point.
60GT. This might
Once
be
it hits that
huge.
sub 3 minute mark, when it's
Any structure, even
259,
the outpost is gonna
that's
be
when they're going to
huge
start
at
doing
this
it.
point. With how close this game is getting,
You're going to start seeing
800
all
points
the
separating these two
blinking.
teams. That
Everything's
is
going to
for
be blinking on the
sure
side of GT. It's the way that they time it. Right now, it's just pressure, pressure, pressure. Pressure, and then they'll reload their marches, and then once it gets to that point where they can't recapture it, it just swarm everything.
To get to those camels. Ah, man, it's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a
I need
very, very
coins.
close one.
I could
Now,
be
the one
wrong.
thing
I
you
could be
don't wanna
wrong.
Is that guy who didn't get
700
their
point
march back in
difference.
time before the timer runs out. So hopefully there's some type of thing going on where everyone's screaming in your ear, get your marches home.
Yeah, we should start to see some of the farther provisioners start walking home. We're starting to see a lot of.
No, you don't come in with 245
provisioners
left.
Start their marches back. A
You
lot
don't.
of them have siege. So you have to keep in mind it's going to be a pretty slow march from these gatherers, with about 2 minutes 30 seconds to go.
There's a new moves right there.
Shrine of War was held.
Real
Looks like
provisioners
Shrine
would
of War
know
will be held.
how much time it takes to them for the
As
nodes.
aggressive as they have been.
If they don't
With
have
only 2
skills,
minutes to
probably
go,
like a
they're
minute
"Alright,
30,
let's just hold our structures,
unless
try
they're
to
getting
get some
hit,
points
right?
And call it a day. You could see that Dust Up was used from 60GT. I actually think that was used so that the provisioners don't have as much line of sight. Dust Up actually taking away or creating more fog, taking away some line of sight, which actually.
All right, we're under
makes
2
it
minutes.
harder
Here comes
to
the neutral
gather.
attack. Let's see if I'm right.
We'll have to see if that pays off. Look
Let's
at
see
the
if I'm
scores
right.
already. It is a 100-point lead for 60GT.
Let's see if I'm right. Provisioners are coming in. Neutrals are going to come in.
Unite, because Rise of
It's not
Farmers
about
is
whether they
how
cap the structure now.
this
It's about
Grand
neutralizing all of it.
Prix is going to go down here. 1 minute 30 seconds to go, and everyone is not even looking at the structures. They're not even looking at the mid fights. They're looking at their gatherers.
Because you're not either.
Hoping, praying that they were able to visit enough caravans. They're able to schmooze enough traders to get enough points to get them over this edge.
Oh my god, this is getting insane. 1 minute, 17 seconds left. Who is gonna take this? Who is gonna take this?
300-point
See
lead,
that. There are
GT.
a lot of provisioners coming
they
in
come.
from 489 in this bottom side. I never thought the last minute we'd be staring at provisioners. Let's see the point jump. Okay, a little bit of a lead. There
it
you
is.
go.
Oh my
489
gosh.
provisioners.
The provisions.
There it
The
goes.
provisions.
Coming
There it goes.
clutch.
There's another 1,000. Watch.
Bring
There it
out
is.
your hoes, bring out your rakes, bring
Another
out
1,000.
your seeds, because it is the farmers that win the game for 489. 60 GT, do they have any farmers on their side? They have some, but I don't know if it'll
Is
be
it?
enough.
I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if it's enough, Otto.
I don't think it'll be enough. Most of the farmers from 60 GT have come home, and it is the farming of 489 that have brought them over this edge of 60 GT.
Wow.
10 seconds to go. About
Someone
a
better bring a heavy
2.5K difference.
It's like somebody called it, chat.
What
It's like somebody
a
called it.
game from these two teams. The Grand Prix finals.
It's like
of last
somebody
season
called it,
coming
chat.
down to farming this season in the lower brackets. But
GG's.
it is 489 that will advance and have a rematch.
Boom. How many
Against
provisions did I tell you it would take,
27
chat?
WP next
Oh,
week. And
my
60
God.
GT, unfortunately, are going home in the first round.
I got you, Prince. I got you.
489, it was such a good game.
Great match. Great match, Plato. Great to see it. That's gonna be it. We saw that insert. 489.
GG's indeed, and if you enjoyed this Osiris League content, be sure to subscribe to this channel, the official Rise of Kingdoms channel.
Yeah.
We will have more Osiris League content.
Give me my money.
Next week,
Yeah.
next Saturday
I
and
told you.
Sunday. As
I
this
told y'all.
tournament
That's the way it
continues to progress,
goes.
We'll see if 489 will continue their lower bracket
That's the
run.
way it-
and to
Show
see if
me
China-
the
Chinese server will
money.
Continue their dominance. If you enjoyed the cast, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Redline's
The
channel.
bark
in
at the
description
end
below.
is
Do you
just
have any
perfect.
final notes
Exactly.
for the viewers?
GG's, everybody. Enjoy the next couple matches.
60
It's gonna be a
GT
great tournament.
officially
you guys next
ends
time.
off
Peace.
in number 16th position. Oh man, GG's. GG's. All right, let me see. Oh yeah, y'all saw that Pokemon content? Ooh, it's live right now. It's live right now. That's why I flipped over to it. Shee. Yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed the watch party. If you did, let me know. Make sure you share out the channel with people. Drop a like on the stream. If you have a Twitch account, do me a monster favor. Go drop a follow on the Bulbaritos Twitch channel. We are going to be doing some Twitch drops for some other games that are upcoming. We are going to be streaming the Age of Empires mobile this week when it launches. I don't know if we're going to be fully, like, if we're going to invest in it or what, but I am going to try it out. I think I'm going to be hopping in with Oppo and crew. That way, I've always wanted to play with Oppo and I haven't played with him. So I'm going to try to link up with him. I know Drago's hopping back in Age of Empires, and a bunch of other old rock creators are going to be hopping in Age of Empires. So if y'all are interested by all that kind of stuff, let me know. You're a prophet, Moby. I told y'all. Nobody believed me. I told y'all they're always going to lose. Never fails. Thanks for the stream. I appreciate you. Thanks, Bobo. Wish you were an official caster. It is what it is, fam. Y'all, it's not like y'all can't find me here. So y'all found me here. I'll probably be doing more watch parties. So I did, before y'all all head out, I did make a decision. Originally, for those of y'all who know, I thought I was making a Call of Duty specific channel. I made the decision I'm gonna move that Call of Duty content over to this channel. And the reason being is I just don't have the capacity, the bandwidth right now to host 3 different YouTube channels, which is the Bulbaritos, that channel, and then the food channel. So we are going to be doing Call of Duty watch parties here on the Bulbaritos channel moving forward. And then I'm going to be bringing in the cast from the major 4 from last season of Call of Duty, the Call of Duty Champs cast, the watch parties that we did from last season, because the new Call of Duty game is coming out in a couple weeks. And then we're going to be doing those moving forward. I am looking at considering doing some Fortnite watch parties for some of their cups and stuff. I just need to figure out the logistics. And Osiris League, you already know we're going to be doing that for y'all as well. So share out the channel with everybody. We love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And hopefully y'all come back. Because those of y'all that are already chatting, I already know y'all are here because y'all are subscribers to the channel. I appreciate you. Oppo is smelly though. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bring it. Bring it. Always a great time. I look forward to the next one. All right, Prince, go enjoy your pancakes, eggs, and sausage, my friend. Don't forget to use creator code. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps popping that for the night. Oh, because of the chat message. It's a auto one. A Black Ops 6. Yes, I'm gonna smoke everyone. Popo or poo poo, poo poo, poo poo. Hit me up. We're gonna be playing. I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna see if Redline's gonna play. I don't know if he's playing. I know Tiny Rick. He's a great community member that we met in Rock. We play a lot of Call of Duty with him, so we'll be playing that. I know Biker, one of our mods, plays a lot of Warzone, so I am possibly looking at making some more Warzone content and clips and funny stuff. If you missed it on our Twitch channel and YouTube yesterday, we did a Fortnite Billy the Puppet. If you've seen Saul, funny stream. So I'm going to be releasing some clips of stuff like that. So hopefully y'all enjoy all the content. Make sure y'all hop in the server if y'all haven't, or if y'all left, or whatever it is. That's where all the stuff's going to be. Not going to come close. Yeah, I enjoyed the beta a lot. No way Redline plays. I played Redline. I played with Redline last game. We did rank play. I have the games on the Bulbaritos channel, I believe. We did Call of Duty. I did Call of Duty rank play with Red. I think we did a couple of Warzone matches as well. So yeah, I did play a lot with Red. Red's actually really good. Yeah, Redline's really good. So we'll see. I'm gonna try doing stuff like that, and then Baskovus with Fortnite, and trying to bring y'all more collabs and stuff like that. So hopefully y'all enjoy that. But yeah, do me a monster favor. Go check out the Twitch channel. Drop a follow. Y'all are already here, so drop a like before I head out. I need to go get some food. The wife is hungry. I am hungry, and it's almost football time. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night, and we'll see y'all on the next one. All right, bye.